Hey, everybody, what's going on? Oh my god.
We just had a disaster. Like just a couple minutes ago.
It wasn't even a minute, it was like 1 minute ago.
We were sitting here talking and boom! Like fucking this.
I was like, what the fuck
just happened? It's like somebody trying to kick in the fucking door to this fucking room. And it turns out, and fucking Pookie was fucking running around. I heard her running around. And I looked outside. I'm drunk, by the way. I looked outside, and she had knocked the cat tree over. We had a big fucking cat tree.
Big, huge, like 3-level cat tree that's like right out there. We've had it a long time.
Maybe 15 years, 10 years.
Well, we got it before we got Pookie. We got it for Beijing, actually.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a long time ago. She was up there running around on it, and she knocked it over, and it fell into the wall, broke it.
Yeah.
She thought she was in big fucking trouble. She was like, whoa.
She's like running around like, oh no.
Yeah, I tried to grab her and tell her it was all right, but she wouldn't let me catch her. She's like, oh no, fuck that. I'm out of here. She thought she was in trouble. We got to get a new cat tree. The thing was a couple $100.
God damn it.
I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, but.
Yeah. It's worn out.
It's sad because she loves that. She loves bowls. There's like that little fur bowl. And she loves to sleep in there. You can still get in it. Yeah. It's just one of the top bit fell off.
The top half of it fell off.
But I can't believe she knocked that whole.
It broke.
The whole thing.
Well, I think she knocked it over and then it cracked. It broke in half when it hit the.
Maybe. Because that's the thing. She jumps up and down on that like every day, and Bambi sits there and claws at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like the scratching post at the bottom. And like I said, it's really old. I mean, I remember when we got it. I think I took a video of when we got it and like Beijing sitting in it.
Yeah.
And that video it might be on here somewhere, but it's just kind of like, shit, it was a long time ago.
So like we got horror fans in, Bee's Nest is in, Peter Boer's in. Everybody's showing up.
Zach is here.
Zach's here. Kevin Smith
is here.
Kevin Smith said he joined our Substack.
We have a Substack?
I didn't know we had a Substack.
I wonder who's doing that.
Yeah.
It's not me.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know who's doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Zach said, good news, I started a new job Monday. I'm going to be a janitor for the local school district. Actually, that sounds like a pretty low-key job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just got mop
probably
shit.
Better than that weird MLM you were probably working for before.
Yeah. Well, he split from that. He's like, fuck that.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Yeah, they're going to want you to work.
Yeah.
And then they're going to use you up. It's a multi-level marketing shit.
I'd probably rather I'd rather work as
fuck
a janitor.
That.
I'd rather work as a janitor, I think.
Yeah.
So at least then you can just kind of hang out and fix stuff and
clean toilet bowls.
Go put some cat litter on it if somebody throws up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mop the floor.
Yeah. Like I said, you probably get to work after after they leave and stuff.
AI will never replace you.
Nice and quiet.
AI.
I guess they could probably get janitor robots.
What ends up happening is that AI replaces everybody working in the office. So now all of a sudden, then they don't need the office. You know what I mean? They're like, well, we don't need a janitor if we don't need an office anymore.
That's true.
That's
that's usually schools, though.
Yeah, that's who it's a school.
Yeah, Zach said 17 an hour. That's not bad. And I guess they have a pension. Wow, that doesn't happen much nowadays. Only issue I'm going to have is not get cooties from the little germ factories walking around. Yeah, it just takes a lot of hand sanitizer. That's what I'm saying.
Remember the janitor from fucking that high school movie that had fucking...
Which one? Breakfast Club?
Breakfast Club, yeah. Oh, I'm just the lowly janitor, right?
Yeah. He was a good character.
Yeah, he was like the coolest guy. He was cool. Like, fuck the principal. Fuck that teacher. Yeah.
By the way, that clock's 10 minutes.
He wasn't a principal. He was just a teacher, wasn't he? The other guy?
What? Yeah, wait, was he?
Mr. Bender? Isn't his name Mr. Bender?
No, Bender was the
dickhead.
Was the delinquent.
Was the delinquent? Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck was that? Dude?
That was some that fucking Breakfast Club was some hardcore Gen X shit.
I would argue that's probably the quintessential Gen X movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess there's a lot of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although. Yeah, I guess so.
I'd probably put it more on fucking Breakfast Club, though.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think so, too. Just because it had, like, a wider
fucking variety of characters.
Like, it had 5 different, like, cliques and, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas Pretty in Pink was just kind of like, the poor weirdos against like the rich yuppie.
Yeah,
assholes.
and the burnout dude hooked up with the fucking with the fucking yuppie chick.
Yeah.
And she pissed her dad off.
The hilarious thing to me every time I rewatch Breakfast Club is that one of the things that kind of sets Molly Ringwald's character apart as like some snotty yuppie is she brings sushi for lunch and like they don't know what that is.
Yeah, that was that day.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But I remember what that was like. Like that was some exotic, weird, like only
shit.
Snotty rich people eat
we
that.
We got a fucking fantastic sushi restaurant like 2 miles from here.
Yeah, like, and we live in like kind of a rurally area in Central Florida.
And it's good sushi. It's just it's better than the fucking sushi
restaurant
in Boston. Now you can buy in Boston and New York. Yeah,
now you can buy sushi at every grocery store.
You can buy it anywhere. Yeah.
Like no matter where you are, which is
with
kind of
genuine funny. Asians making it.
Genuine.
Asians. They're not even faking it. Although I'm pretty sure they're Chinese.
Well, people here would be just like close enough.
Yeah, close enough.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter says, I felt bad for Ducky. I kind of did too, but you know what? The older I get, I definitely do think... I'm not going to say I think she should have ended up with Ducky.
Ducky was simping too hard.
He was... Well, and he was a little bit too... Yeah, he was real simpy, and he was also, like, really kind of... He was kind of one of those nice guys. Like, he was kind of a better version of one of those nice guys that are like, but I'm going to hang around and be her friend, hoping that for something else.
It's called a sneaky fucker.
Yeah.
It's called a sneaky fucker.
So he had a little bit of that energy. Yeah. But he was likable otherwise.
He wasn't
and he wasn't a bad guy. Like, he did actually let her go in the end. But I will say that in the context of that movie, I don't understand at all what she saw in Andrew McCarthy's character, because he just seemed as bland as
he was kind
white bread.
Yeah, there wasn't anything to that guy.
I was like, he did not seem interesting in the least. So I was just kind of like, why would she be so in love with him? And like,
in reality, it wouldn't have been the jock boy.
No.
If he was a jock, he would have been like a really fucking cool one. Because we did have cool ones.
Yeah, we did have cool jocks.
Most likely, he would have been kind of a fucking, in those days, a really cool punk rock dude.
Yeah.
That would have been more realistic. A cool punk rock dude. Kind of like a Bender.
Yeah.
But cooler. Bender wasn't all that
he
cool.
wasn't a punk. Yeah, he was kind of a dick.
He had problems.
And he was kind of a burnout.
Yeah, he was burnout.
More than anything else.
Punk rockers were fun.
Yeah.
And they actually did a lot of cool shit when they got older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were usually kind of, at least where I went to school, they were usually like the smart ones. You know what I mean? Even though they looked like weirdos.
We had one named Bill Olinger. I don't know if Gramps is here. And Bill was he was a tall, good-looking punk rock dude who fucking dressed cool. Ripped up fucking leather jackets and shit, and fucking his cool hair and shit. And he scored all the fucking hot punk rocker and fucking new wave chicks. And I don't remember exactly what he ended up doing as an adult, but I remember him fucking being a successful guy. You know, when he got out in his 30s. You know, he was, like a business owner. I don't remember. Yeah. Grampers would remember.
Grampers says Bill was a swimmer.
Bill was a swimmer, yeah. He was in good shape.
Yeah, there are some athletes. It wasn't so much like, all the people that were athletes and stuff like that were assholes, but a lot of them were. But some of them were fine.
But yeah, Bill was a babe magnet. He was scoring all the chicks, and he was cool enough to fucking score, cool enough and good looking enough to fucking score cheerleaders. He was that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Even though the cheerleaders weren't cool, really. About half of them were. But it all depended.
In my high school, I didn't know any cool cheerleaders.
Lisa Schroer was real cool. He remembers
bitches.
Lisa got kicked out of the cheerleader cool chick fucking thing because she blew one of the jocks in the fucking in the library, and then a dude fucking told everybody. It made her look like a fool.
Of course he did.
Right, and then
that's how high school dudes do.
Yeah, and then she became kind of like a goth chick. Lisa did. And fucking Bill hooked up with her. Fucking Grampers remembers.
Grampers says he became a high school teacher in Connecticut.
That's right.
At a private high school.
That's right. I remember he ended up becoming a very successful guy. But Lisa was fucking, and she was hot. She was like, kind of like the chick from Sisters of Mercy. What's her name? Fucking
Patricia Morris.
Yeah, like she ended up becoming kind of like a Patricia Morrison once she kind of did the conversion over to like a goth girl. And she was still a cheerleader, but she was a cheerleader gone wrong. She was like, "Fuck these people."
Yeah,
I
can't really blame her there.
Yeah.
Because I never really liked those.
She kind of became one of us in the final year or so.
Ooh, we got a super chat from Zach. Thank you very much. Ironically, one of the places I'll be cleaning is my old high school I graduated from a decade ago. Time is a flat circle, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, as they say. That would be kind of cool. Even because you might get to go like in the back and see what all the fuck's going on and shit. That might be kind of cool. I went back to my school a few times because some of my friends were younger, like, you know, a year or two behind me. So I would go back and visit them sometimes when I could, but I really didn't have any interest in going back and doing any... Does any Gen X do, like, high school reunions and stuff? Like, does anyone bother? I know that, that I think 10 years... So in 2000 and maybe 2010, I think I remember getting something from, like, a Facebook group or something that was like, oh, 10-year... you know, reunion, 20-year reunion, but I don't even know if they ended up doing it because I don't think anybody fucking bothered. You know what I mean?
Grandpa's talking about some of the hockey players was cool. Yeah, fucking, what was his name? Eric? What was his name? Eric? I thought his name was Eric. Dude was always on the inline skates hanging out with us. I haven't fucking said his name in a long time. I thought it might have been Eric. He was pretty cool.
I did notice that as far as like sports ball people went, the football players tend to be the biggest jerks.
Yeah.
Usually the guys who played other sports like soccer or baseball or something like that were kind of a mixed bag.
That's right, Eric McCormick, Eric McCormick, he was cool.
But the football players were almost all dickheads.
Yeah.
At least where I went to school.
At Trenton, where me and Grandpa were talking about, only like half of the football players were dicks, about half of them. And looking back on it, I think that particular half were doing steroids, which that'll fucking twist your mind up pretty bad, especially at that age. And they didn't know how to take them back then. I think steroids had something to do with it. Especially Dave Viola. Remember that motherfucker? By the time he was out of high school, he was fucking 6'4". That bitch probably weighed 240 pounds. He was a monster. And he got into a car wreck and fucking bashed his brains in. He was friendly as a motherfucker after that. I saw him after that.
So when?
Yeah, he was a shadow of him, his former self. And I says, dude, I remember you, Dave Viola. He goes, yeah. You remember me? I says, yeah, I remember you from high school. He says, I don't remember you. I got into a car accident. I says, no, you wouldn't have remembered me, fucking, you know what I mean? We didn't really hang out, but I remember you. He's like, oh, all right. He was nice.
Bees Nest said, I didn't even do prom. I went to the senior prom with a bunch of friends, like a mixed group of like girls and boys. We were there for about an hour and a half, and then we got bored and went to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah. So. Grandpa's got it right. Says, yeah, they were on D-ball. Deanna ball. Yeah. I've done that. Shit make your head swell up. Make your face swell up, fucking get fucking around.
That's why his driver's license.
My driver's license photo looks so fucked up because I was on so much fucking Deanna ball.
When he renewed his license.
It's just an old school steroid. Fucking, you hold so much fucking water, you get bloated like a motherfucker. It didn't do much for me, really. I didn't gain much muscle on it. But I'll tell you one thing about Deanna ball, though, is it fucking feels good. You think you're the sexiest motherfucker in the world on D-ball. Your head looks like a fucking basketball. It's hilarious. I didn't never get.
So you're probably going around with like this big, huge head, looking like the moon from a trip to the moon, and you're like, ladies, and everyone's
like, what the fuck? Yeah. Deanna.
Looking like that girl in the moon.
Yeah, fucking Deanna.
Oh, Viola later did 10 years hard time for slinging drugs.
Yeah.
Grampter says.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't really think about high school that much anymore. But
yeah, fucking poor Dave Viola, man, because high school was, I guess, his high point. He was a big dude. He's fucking was a good looking guy. jacked and shit. And I remember he was just fucking slinging so many cute fucking girls. They were all the damn cheerleader type chicks back in those days. But like you said, some people fucking, their high point is high school. You know, that's like they max out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Because you're still a child.
You're still a child, yeah. That's.
Even though it's funny because like a lot of people in their 20s are like, I hear like fucking 28-year-olds be like, I'm so old. I'm like,
back in high school. Yeah.
Holy crap, you can be my kid. Shut the fuck up. But you know what I mean? You'll learn. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out one of these days. Everybody has to go through it. It's the same thing. Just every generation. You know, Oracle is here saying, hey y'all, hey, what's up? Yeah, I was thinking about Pretty in Pink and about Ducky and all of that. And I think that, well, one of the other things that kind of pisses me off about that movie, and the same, but it's kind of a similar thing happens in Breakfast Club. One, that fucking dress, you all know what I'm talking about, that fucking Molly Ringwald made out of the dress that Annie Potts gave her, which was cool, which was like a retro, like kind of 50s, 60s, I guess it was 60s, like kind of pink prom dress. I was like, I'd have just worn it like that. That was like really cool. And no, she cut it up and made this abominable bag that wouldn't look good on anybody. And I'm just like, okay, sweet, that you fucked up that dress to make that horrible monstrosity.
I don't remember that part of it.
But I also hated that Annie Potts, the chick that ran the record store that she worked at, she had the big Liberty spikes and you know, it's with the fucking staple gun like that. She's like shooting at that kid that was stealing and shit.
I remember her as the old lady.
She was fucking rad.
Yeah, I remember her as like an old lady.
And then she's going out with this yuppie at the end and she looks all like, and I was like, why'd they do that to her? She looks awful. I was like, she looks so much cooler before.
I remember her as like the old chick. But then
she's not old.
You see it now and you're like, oh man, she's cute as hell. Yeah, she was like not even 30 probably.
Yeah, I mean, she looked so much cooler, like the way she was at the first place. But yeah, I don't know why it was the same kind of thing like in Breakfast Club where they took Ali Sheedy's character, who was kind of, I don't know if I'd necessarily call her a goth. She was kind of goth adjacent.
She's a proto-goth, yeah.
And then they kind of do the makeover of her at the end, and like, suddenly, but like, and I was just like, nah, she looked better before. Sorry.
I saw an interview with the guy, some of the cast that was in that movie, and they did point out that a lot of people were kind of shitting on the movie for that scene that they changed.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like that.
And I think it was the guy who played Bender that was talking about it. He says, yeah, but you have to understand the script. It wasn't meant to be taken seriously. It was just, they were just fucking around and she made her over. She didn't change her.
I've heard a lot of people talking about that scene because, like I said, a lot of people, especially like, you know, people that grew up like kind of punk and stuff like I did, were kind of like, what the fuck? Why'd you do that to her? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, she has to wear pink and look all pretty and stuff like that to get anybody to like her. But it's just, I was like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But you know, and a lot of us thought that at the time. But I've heard like some people say, well, it didn't necessarily mean that. It just meant that, you know, because she was kind of like mentally messed up.
Yeah.
Because of her upbringing, as they all were, like in their own ways. That was kind of the whole point of the movie. And they're like, the point of the makeover was not so much saying that it's like, oh, you have to look normal, like to get anybody to like you, or you have to change.
Right.
But that she was actually opening herself up and letting the other girl in, and like letting the other girl like interact with her in a way that she wouldn't normally before. And I was like, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I'll allow it.
And that she wasn't what she appeared to be. That she wasn't what she appeared to be. That she was more than what she appeared to be.
Yeah.
That was the idea. It wasn't meant to be that she had somehow changed or
And I do, because some people have pointed out that Emilio Estevez kind of liked her before.
Yeah.
But then he said the only thing that he said like afterward, like after she gets the makeover, was you can see her face.
Yeah.
So, because, you know, her hair had all been hanging in her face before. Yeah. And so I guess that was kind of like saying that it's like, you know, you don't have to hide anymore, like behind your hair.
Yeah.
But I legit think she looked better the way she was originally.
I thought she was cute both ways.
I mean, she was cute the other way. Yeah. I mean, Ali Sheedy, she has like the pointiest chin of anyone I've ever seen, and I think that that's natural. I don't think that.
No, she's just a kid. She was cute and she just had that chin.
She just had that super pointy chin.
I don't know what she ended up looking like later because she kind of dropped out of Hollywood, didn't she? She did a few more movies.
She was in some stuff in the 90s, and then I think she had like a slight resurgence-ish in maybe the 2000s. She was in like some indie movies and stuff, if I remember correctly. But I haven't heard...
Yeah.
But I mean, she might have been in stuff... Like I said, she might have been in stuff recently because I don't keep track of a lot of stuff. Pretty much... There's so much media out there nowadays that no human person can like keep track of all of it. I keep track of horror more or less, but even I can't keep up with just that. So like all the other genres going on, I literally have no idea. So it's like, so all these actors that seem to have disappeared, it's like they could be in some big TV show that I don't even fucking know about, you know, that has millions of fans, and then I don't even know about it. So, you know. Yeah, Peter Moore said all the John Hughes movies were great. Yeah, they really were. I mean, yeah, they're of their time, but I'm going to say, if anybody that didn't grow up in the 80s wants to know kind of what it was like for Gen X and stuff like that, that's a good place. It's slightly exaggerated, but not much. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of Gen X like related to those movies so hard. I will also give a shout out to Some Kind of Wonderful, which was kind of like Pretty in Pink, but gender swapped. And I feel like that one doesn't get as much love, but I really, really liked that movie. And it had a really, really good soundtrack.
What's the name of that director again?
John Hughes.
John Hughes, yeah. I saw an interview with him, and he said he's glad people appreciate his movies, but he wasn't really thinking that much about them when he made them. He was just making
a lot of them weren't. He
was just making middle class high school movies.
Yeah,
that was the idea, and he just did it. But yeah, they did kind of encapsulate that era. We didn't really think about it that much at the time. We took it for granted.
Yeah,
because things changed. But who knows though? It wouldn't surprise me that you could probably show that to Gen Z, and they would probably relate to a lot of that.
Yeah, even though they weren't alive during that time.
Right.
But they've seen so much like 80s retro stuff, and like so much 80s stuff is still like so the forefront of the you know the culture that you know I don't think it would be that crazy. I do see sometimes people that are younger, like on Reddit or something like that, where they'll ask a question like, hey, you know, I wasn't born in 1985. Like, is this movie accurate? Was this what high school was really like or something? Because they don't have any way of knowing. And you know what I mean? And obviously movies are... Actually, I saw one today, like, it was somebody, I don't remember what country they were from, but they said, you know, I think they were from India. And they said, we get a lot of, you know, we watch a lot of American movies and stuff. It's like, are y'all's high schools as big as they show in movies, and do they have all that shit, like tennis courts and pools and shit like that?
Yeah.
And I said, and a lot of people were like, well, you know, it's a big country, and like all of the school districts are different. There's thousands of them. But yeah, like if you went to school in like a big, mid-sized to large city, and there was a lot of students, then yeah, a lot of the schools did have that. They said auto shops and big libraries and shit like that. My high school did not have a pool, I don't think. But it had everything else. Like, it had it didn't have a stadium, but it had, like, a really, really big sports. It had tennis courts and all that.
A lot of those 80s high school movies, actually, not only were they fairly accurate, what you saw there also applied to the 1960s. Because if you go back and watch Grease, even though that's a musical, the content, the spiritually is pretty accurate. There's not a big difference between what happens in Grease, which is supposed to be happening in the 60s, and what happens in an 80s movie. Because, you know, that's only a 20-year period, and really the culture hadn't changed that much. The technology did, and the fashion did, but it was still pretty much the same culture. There wasn't a big difference between 80s kids and 60s kids. They did the same thing. And it wouldn't surprise you if you went back into the 40s and 50s, it was probably like that too. It's just the difference is that it would have been smaller high schools, especially if you were out in the country. And you wouldn't have been able to get away with quite the amount of shit without people knowing. But according to my dad, and he was in Mississippi during that time in high schools, they did all kinds of wild shit. So, you know, they weren't virgins or anything. They were fucking in high school.
Well, yeah, a lot of people
in those days, yeah.
They were when I was in high school.
And that was the 50s, you know. School, and that had been, and evidently had been like that for decades before.
Yeah, see, that's the thing about, like, the 50s, and people have conceptions about it, but it's like, what are you talking about? They were all fucking in the back of cars.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think they were going to the drive-in for?
20s was wild. People don't realize how wild the 20s was.
It was just that you didn't hear about it as much. Like girls got knocked up in the 50s and they sent them off to be with an aunt for a little while, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like...
But
that's all. You didn't hear about it.
Shit was wild in the 20s.
Yeah.
And the 30s, you know. So I think the culture was basically kind of the same. What made the difference was technology. They didn't have telephones. If you don't have a telephone, you can't call your girlfriend. Okay? So you can't talk to them over the phone and set a date up. And then you didn't have cars until the 1920s. If you have access to a car, that means you can pick your girlfriend up. And you're in high school. You can pick her up. And you can go somewhere with her. Before that, it would have been fucking wagons. Horses and walking. It's harder to do it that way. You can't call her. It means you have to go over there. If you go over there to her fucking house, her parents are seeing you. So you can't surreptitiously fucking secretly call somebody.
Unless you just go to her house and knock on the window with
rocks,
and then she crawls
her
out.
Her whole family knows that you showed up. You know?
Ancient Discoveries is here. Says, glad you guys are on because I feel shitty tonight. I need this. Aw,
all right.
I'm sorry to hear that.
We got it.
We'll be here to entertain you. Yeah, talking about John Hughes movies, like, yeah, we all grew up with them. Oh, Granther said, Ali Sheedy made allegations of sexual harassment against James Franco, and it kind of shortened her comeback, unfortunately. See, isn't that always the way?
Who's James Franco?
He's another actor.
All right.
And that's the thing. It's like every time like an actress is be like, hey, this actor was kind of shitty and like tried to rape me or something like that. Everybody's like, well, let's go shut her up. You don't have any jobs anymore. Nice. Peter Bohr says, my son is still young and he loves all those movies when I show him.
Yeah. How old is young?
Yeah, I'd be curious.
Yeah.
Granther says 16 Candles was more accurate than Pretty in Pink. Probably so. Yeah. I kind of feel like, because I liked that Molly Ringwald's character was kind of a lot more awkward.
Yeah.
In 16 Candles.
The least
could have done without Long Duck Dong, but at least he was like a funny character.
The least accurate one, the least accurate teen movie from the fucking 80s was The Last American Virgin. And that's because
I remember that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time.
That was written by some Jewish dudes from Israel who had nothing to do, they knew nothing about American teen culture, or they only knew what they had read in newspapers, and they made that fucking script up. And
I'd have to see that again.
It is a wild story, but it's wild because it was the Israeli concept of what American teenage life was like. Just from seeing shit
on movies and
on
TV.
Movies and yeah,
which is
it's not how you do it.
Well, you can't blame people.
It made it it's a very surreal American teenage
I'd be
life.
interested to watch it. I saw it a lot like when I was younger because it seemed like it was on cable all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't remember much about it. And I don't remember, and I didn't know at the time that it was, made by them. So it's like, so I'm not really sure that it really. Well, but the thing about it is you can't really blame like people from other countries that have never been here.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we want to cash in on this lucrative market, which fair enough. And the only reference point they have is like TV and movies.
Other TV and movies,
which are obviously mostly exaggerated.
Yeah, it's very and like one of the central fucking scenes in that fucking thing is the lead hottie female lead getting an abortion and her going to the clinic and all that shit. Like, that's a big part of teenage life, is getting into damn abortion.
Well, now, I will note that Fast Times at Ridgemont High also had an abortion. Jennifer Jason Leigh got an abortion.
It's probably where they got that idea.
Which is probably where they got that. I mean, it happens. I knew a couple people in high school that had to get abortion.
But that's not like a feature. That was a bug. Okay.
Yeah.
I think foreigners saw that as a feature of fucking.
It's like,
American
what? You can just go and go get an abortion whenever you want to. Sweet. It's like they're not fun.
No,
they're not fun.
That was a negative part of that fucking story.
No one really wants to do that. You know what I mean? It's just kind of when you're just like, well, I'm shit out of luck. You know what I mean?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High was funny though at the time. I haven't seen that in a long time.
I really, honestly, as far as...
I remember thinking it was funny.
Because that was like... Well, when did that come? That was late 70s, early 80s?
Very
I would submit
80s.
that Fast Times at Ridgemont High was also pretty accurate.
For California.
For California.
Yeah, that had fucking Jeff Spicoli in it.
That's true. It was like the quintessential...
The quintessential
like,
fucking...
surfer.
Bonged out fucking high as hell surfer.
He's a great fucking character, though.
Oh, man. We can fix it. He wipes out... His friend wipes out a fucking... His brother's car.
My dad.
And it's just fucking... It was his brother. My brother's gonna kill me. Dude, we can fix it, man.
My dad's got a whole bunch of tools.
My brother's got a killer set of tools, man. We can
fix it.
It's just fucked. No, man.
That's a good movie.
Mr. Hand, the dude from fucking Martin the Martian.
Marvin the Martian.
Yeah.
No, not Marvin the Martian. Yeah.
What's that guy? That was the name of that fucking series, Martin the Martian.
It was Mr.
Hand.
No, it wasn't. It was wasn't he? Shit, man. What was the name of that?
He played
my favorite.
My favorite Martian. Yeah. That's right. My favorite.
Marvin the Martian was that Bugs Bunny character.
I forgot him. It was my favorite Martian. I thought his name was Martin.
I don't remember what his name was, but the name of the show was my favorite Martian. Yeah. Like I said, Marvin the Martian was a cartoon character, like the Bugs Bunny one.
Yeah, he played Jeff Spicoli's teacher, Mr. Hand.
Yeah,
Mr. Hand.
Yeah, Oracle said our crosstown rival high school had a planetarium. Yeah, see, we didn't have one of those. But I have heard that like some high schools do have like small observatories and stuff. Oracle said that.
Okay.
I have heard that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's some high schools do have pools, but they tend to be bigger because a lot of high schools have swim teams and shit like that. So I don't think maybe it did. I wasn't on the swim team in high school, so I don't know. I don't think it did. But it had everything else. Like, it had a big, huge band room, a big, huge chorus room, big science labs. It had a huge library. It had all of that. But that's what this person was asking. It's like, are the schools as big, and do they really have all that stuff? Yeah. I don't think we had a full auto shop, but they did have a wood shop, like a big wood shop and other shit. But some high schools have big, full auto shops. Let me see. Yeah, CB says the local gym is next door to the high school in my town. The pool is in there. Yeah, it's from my understanding. I feel like in the UK, usually the schools don't have a pool on the property, but usually the school will be by like a big public, like a YMCA type situation. And they usually go, because when I lived in the UK, I used to go to like the sports center in the town where we lived and use the pool there. And sometimes if you went during the day, like school classes would be in there swimming up and down.
Most American high schools are very similar to what you would see in Greece. You got a bunch of wings with classrooms in it, gymnasium, a parking lot, because some of the students drive to school because they're old enough to have.
Yeah, in my high school, probably about 75% of the students drove themselves.
They're old enough to have driver's license already. They have indoor pool, gymnasium. Some of them will have auto shop and machine shop and woodworking shops. They have that kind of shit on the side. And tennis courts.
Yeah, we had tennis courts at our high school.
Baseball, football.
Yeah, we had baseball diamond and a big football stadium and soccer bleachers thing. Yeah, we had that.
Yeah, and so most of them are like what you would see in Greece, and that's kind of like middle class and decent sized towns. That's what you have.
Most of the schools are like that.
Most of them are like that.
And I will note too that a lot of the stuff you see in movies, the school is mostly like inside. I grew up in Florida, and almost all the schools are, obviously the classrooms and stuff are inside, but almost all the exterior hallways are outside.
Yeah.
Like all of our lockers it was like covered walkways. You know what I mean? But it was all outside, just like sidewalks, and then it was just like all grass courtyards. Like we didn't have like a big building that you went into and it was just like interior halls with lockers and stuff. All of the lockers were outside, just under covered like roofs and stuff. But they were all outside because it's Florida. You know what I mean? The weather's hot down here. So we don't have interior.
Some foreigners, and I've seen foreigners actually make YouTube videos talking about high school. And One of them was a Chinese woman who's looking at the high school, talking about how big it is and all the cars in the parking lot. And people in the comment section is like, no, those are the students' cars. And she just couldn't accept that.
Yeah.
Because in China, only adults drive. And they figure adults are people over 30. Because young people under 30 can't afford a car in China. So the whole idea of a fucking 17-year-old boy with a driver's license drove a family car to the fucking... That's just an alien concept. It's probably alien in India. I don't think a 17-year-old could get their hands on a car. Yeah, maybe a motor scooter.
Maybe not.
But not a car.
Now, I didn't have a car in high school because I was broke dick.
I had them.
But most other people...
Yeah.
If you had, at least a couple of friends, at least one of those friends would have a car.
Oh, I could get the family car. And look, grandparents could say Steve had a car. Jason had a car. Now, they were old cars from the 70s. They would give you...
Yeah, sometimes
you could get an old car for $300.
Well, and sometimes, too, the parents would get a new car and they'd give you their old one.
You could in Michigan, you could get a decent old car from the late 70s for about $300 or $400. And you'd have to replace thermostats and hoses in it and batteries and shit. But that was just how you learned to manage a car as a boy. But yeah, we had fucking Jason Quinlan had that fucking Skylark. Remember that? And Steve had what the fuck was that Steve had? Man, I forgot what it was. I think it might have been a Ford Taurus, which was kind of a newer car. I think his dad got him a newer car. And I had that fucking Chevy Capri Classic. Malibu Classic, that's what I had. Which was a very early 80s car. And we're talking about, I had that in 86, 87. Which they weren't expensive. You could get that for about $300-$400. Your family would give them to you. Because they didn't want you driving their car.
Well, yeah.
Because you might wreck their car.
They're like, here, have a junker.
Here's a junker.
Then you can wreck it, and we won't feel too bad about it.
Right.
That's how, pretty much everybody, I did know a couple kids, kids, not super close friends, but whose parents were well off who would buy them a car.
Yeah.
But that was kind of unusual. I feel like most of the time, when the parents bought a new car, they would just give the kids... their old
if
one.
They had one.
If they had
one. Yeah, my family didn't have an old car to give. They had a new car. But no, they just bought me an older car. I think it was about a $300 or $400 car.
Yeah, that happened too.
Yeah, and here, drive this.
They just buy you an old one.
Because they don't want you driving their car.
Yeah, well, because you're not real experienced yet. And another thing too is that you have driver's ed in high school. Whereas I kind of feel like most other places, I know I don't know if it's the same as it was when I was in the UK, but in the UK, you have to pay for your own driving lessons. You have to pay a driving instructor, and the driving test is much, much harder. Yeah. Most people fail, several times, before they pass, because it's really difficult. And they don't have a thing, as far as I know, like I said, it might be different now, but they don't have a thing where it's you can fuck up a few times and still pass, like you can over here. You pretty much have to get it just right before they'll give it to you. So most people fail, the first few times. But over here in high school, it's a whole ass class. I think when I was in... Was it 9 weeks or 18 weeks? It might have been 2 semesters. And so a lot of it is book learning. You learn all the signs and all the rules of the road. They show you a bunch of gory movies about car accidents to try and scare you into not fucking up. And... I particularly remember one called Red Asphalt. That was a classic. And had some old people get burned to a crisp. That was nice. So you got to watch that. And then they had a bunch of junker cars in the parking lot, and they would take you out and let you drive with the teacher.
Klaus and all his friends from Norway are here. He says, give me a 70s car for $300. Yeah, man. Okay, the most expensive car, when I was living in Michigan, the most expensive car that my friends had was Mike Kowalski. Gramthers was there. He'll tell you. He probably remembers it. Mike Kowalski, who was working part-time at a gas station while he was at school, got enough money together to buy a $700 car. And in the 80s, this must have been around 86, 87, $700 was a lot of money for a used car. And he got a 1978 fucking Chevelle. And it was a fucking hot car, man. The muscle car. Fucking, it was a blue Chevelle with a fucking white rag top, with a white top. It had rust because we were in Michigan and they salted the, I think it was like a 73 or 74 fucking Chevelle. Big old V8 engine in it. You couldn't keep gas in it. You paid $700 for that car. $700. It looked sweet though, man. And it was like, the problem was, man, fucking is that the gas economy was fucking horrible. And I think gas at that time was, I think it was under $1, but maybe 75 cents. Does that sound about right? 78? Oh, excuse me, 80.
Are you asking me?
80, yeah, 80.
It
was about 87. And no, 86. I think gasoline was about 75 cents a gallon at that time. But I remember fucking I'd have to give him $5 every time we go somewhere. He'd ride in that fucking car. It was huge. Big old V8. It was a fucking Chevelle. Yeah. It's fucking muscle car.
Okay, so yeah, I had forgotten about this, so this might be why there's a different thing in the UK and the United States. CB says, aren't kids in America still in high school when they're 18 years old, but in the UK, kids leave school between 14 and 16. It could be that, like, because over here, I don't know if they've changed the laws since I was a kid, but over here, you can get a learner's permit when you're 15.
15, yeah.
And that, you just take the written test,
yeah,
an eye test, and all this other shit, and then you can drive, but only if there's someone else, like another licensed driver in the car with you.
No.
That's what it was when I was a kid.
In Michigan, you could get a driver's license at 15, but it was like a learner's permit.
I just said that learner's permit at 15.
But listen, what I'm saying, you had to go to that because me and Grams went through it. You had to go to that fucking driver's education in the morning before school. It was still dark out, and then once you got that learner's permit, you could drive just like a regular driver's license. It's just that it was weird. You could only drive during daylight hours.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to drive at night. Unless you were going to work.
You couldn't go unless you were going to work or you were going some other places, which you were like, wait, but hold on. That means you can drive.
Yeah.
Because it was really, you couldn't drive like you owned the bitch. You had to drive like you needed to go somewhere. And nobody enforced it. You could drive at 15 if you had that card. And at 16, you got a driver's license.
You got a real driver's license.
You got a real driver's license.
Yeah.
So you're like on probation for about a year.
For a year, yeah.
It went by fast.
That's about how.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it worked when we were kids. So.
Yeah, I think I got mine a little bit late. I think I got my driver's license at 16. I don't think I did the. I think I did the driver's ed, and I was old enough to get straight up a license. I didn't have to.
See, I wasn't because my birthday is in late September.
Yeah.
So when I started, I was in the driver's ed class, but I couldn't actually get my learner's permit because I didn't turn 15 until the end of that month.
Okay.
And so I did get a learner's permit as soon as I could get one, but I already missed a lot of the driving instruction. But as it was, like, I got it later anyway.
I think I immediately got my license, but there was like a probationary period that lasted about 6 months where it was only like during daylight. You know what I mean? Daylight or to work and back.
Yeah, I do remember that you weren't supposed to drive at night unless you had a job at night.
Unless you had a job at night.
You could do that.
And that was really the only reason why you were going to be driving anyway. And
they just didn't want a bunch of 15-year-olds like cruising around in the middle of the night for no reason. If
I remember correctly, though, that was only like the first 6 months. Each state is different. And I think in Michigan, that's where I got my first license. I think it was... Gramthers would remember, because that's his state. We were there together, but he would remember probably better than me. I think it was only a 6 months probationary period.
That sounds about right.
If you were over 16.
Because I think that's...
Yeah.
And the thing about it, too, was that this might horrify people to realize, and they might have changed it, but to get a learner's permit at 15, you didn't actually have to drive the car. You only had to pass the written test and the eye test. You didn't have to get in the car and drive it. They would just, you pass the written test and they'd give you the license. Because technically it was supposed to be you learning to drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, now they're in there saying all American cars were shit. No, they weren't shit. You had to know what it was you were getting. 70s and 80s American cars were actually for the amount that you paid for them, because they were very inexpensive, because they made so many of them, they would depreciate in value very quickly. You could get, like somebody mentioned it right in there, you could get a Ford Mustang that was only about 6 or 7 years old for $1,000 back in the 80s. The problem with them is that a lot of times the steel wasn't galvanized correctly, and if you were in an environment where there was snow, they were going to be salting the roads, and that salt would just eat that car up. And they had steel exhaust instead of stainless steel, so the exhausts would just rust up in the north where they would salt roads. They had little problems here or there, like the quality of the fucking hoses, the rubber water hoses weren't that good. They weren't steel reinforced, and they would wear out. The factory fucking thermostats, which is kind of like a fucking heat activated valve to fucking open and close the coolant. The coolant going through the fucking going through the hoses, that would kind of break quick. But those were all very cheap parts. So if you knew what you were doing, you'd go in there and you'd replace all that shit. Especially if it was an older car, you'd put a new thermostat in it. That's about $20. You put new hoses in there, better steel reinforced fucking woven hoses. That might be another $100. Put a new alternator in it, a new battery, and they would run forever. The exhaust would rust out though. So if you put an aftermarket exhaust on it, it would last longer on a salted road. It was little shit. It wasn't big shit. You could, for a small amount of money, get your hands into a pretty cool American car, but you were going to have to make some changes if it was older. If someone was selling that car off, it probably had a problem. So you have to track down what that problem was. But it was usually not a serious problem. It was something that was easy to fix. We had fun with them. They would run forever. They were big V8s, most of them, and V6s. They didn't make much power, so they weren't under a lot of stress. They would run forever. They had a lot of torque. They were big and roomy. You could have sex in an American car. That was something you could never do. You fucking drove around in a big American V8 back in the days. You were in a moving hotel room. You could just jump in the back. You could have a foursome in the fucking car. Jen knows.
True that.
Back in the day, they were fucking fun. So no, they were good cars. You just had to know what it was you were dealing with. Some were terrible. Some were really good. You just had to understand what car you were dealing with and where you were. If you were in California or in the South where they weren't salting the roads and it wasn't winter all the time, they'd last a long time.
Except for the paint.
The paint. They came with cheap paint, a lot of them. So you'd have to repaint them.
Especially, why do you think, like, even nowadays, like, a lot of people in Florida won't buy red cars because it's like that shit will fade. Like,
no red car survives here.
Immediately.
Yeah. Although I got a red
like
Ford.
Like a burgundy.
I got a burgundy Ford out there from 1999. Still looks brand new. And the interior looks brand new.
It looks garage kept, though.
Yeah.
They didn't park it out in the
I don't think it was garage kept, but it was on a barn. But it's a Lincoln it's a Lincoln it's a Mercury Grand Marquis, which is a fucking fantastic car. It was a cop car, and here in the United States they made those into cop cars and taxis and limousines, also known as a Lincoln Town Car. Similar, same car, just the Lincoln stretched, and it only has 100,000 miles on it, and those cars are known for getting 500,000 miles. No problem. On the same motor. They'll run forever. Because they don't make any power. 148 horsepower, 150 horsepower out of a V8. A lot of torque, and they're just running just real mellow. Nothing's running under any stress.
Klaus says, are American classics really that cheap in the U.S.? Some of them were back then.
Back then, not now.
Nowadays, you can't get anything cheap
anymore.
Even old cars are going to cost you out the fucking
A 70s car now is worth a lot of money. But in the 80s, they weren't. In the 80s, they would just give 70s cars away.
Yeah, because it's like they didn't really think that they were going to be sought after.
Yeah, they made so many of them.
Yeah, they were just old. So yeah, they... Shit, my brother bought like a car for $200 one time.
Yeah.
It blew up a couple weeks later, but
you could get.
But he got it for $200.
You could get hot-looking Corvette Stingrays for like $400.
Yeah, like I said, you can't get anything.
Not anymore. Yeah.
You can't even get a piece of a car for $400 anymore.
For now, for like a car like I have, a decent car that's older, you're looking at $1,500.
Well, what we bought
minimum
that car, which is a '99, which is old.
Yeah.
It's in really good condition.
Yeah.
And it didn't have very high mileage considering how old it is.
90,000.
It had 90,000 miles, which is really good for
on that car.
For a car that old. And he had it advertised for $4,000.
Yeah.
He gave it to us for $3,000, but I also gave him my Ford Taurus.
Yeah.
For the additional, because I was like, I was gonna get rid of it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's about all I would have got for it anyway. It was about $1,000 because it was kind of in rough shape. But yeah, so technically it was $4,000.
Yeah. If you want a fucking the best car, the best old car for the least amount of money in the United States, you're gonna want a Ford Panther platform. So that means a Ford Crown Victoria, or a Mercury Grand Marquis, or a Lincoln Town Car. They're the same cars, it's just different packages on it. That car will you can get 400,000 miles out of those cars, and the parts are cheap. You can rebuild those from nothing. Okay, and that's what it was used as cop cars and taxis in the United States. There's a guy who has a Crown Victoria cop car in England. He fucking tours it around. The whole crowds of people look at this fucking American cop car because that's what they see in the movies. They're fucking rock solid. The other one is the fucking, what's that thing? The Buick 3.8 Buick. What do they call it? The Buick makes a 3.8 liter V8. I'm trying to remember fucking what the name of that fucking car is. They ran forever. And they killed that engine design, and people fucking were like, why the hell are you getting rid of that? Because they had been around for 20 years, and it was just rock solid. They also called that thing a fucking Buick Ultra. That was the supercharged version of it. And it looked a lot like a Crown Victoria or a Grand Marquis. It was a front-wheel drive V6 front-wheel drive, four-door American luxury car. Some of them were supercharged. It was called an Ultra, Buick Ultra. Gave more power, and even that supercharger would fucking work like clockwork. It gave more power. If you were in a snowy area, you wanted the 3.8 or 3800, I think is what they called it. But for the rest of the world, fucking Ford 4.6 liter V8 in the Grand Marquis, Crown Victoria, Lincoln Town Car. It's called the Panther platform. It was around for fucking 30 years. It was just a wicked, easy car, super reliable. Really, really robust. It weighed a lot. It would take a lot of punishment. It made a great cop car, great taxi. I'm happy to have one. All leather interior. It's fucking light gray. It's like you're driving around on a fucking lazy boy recliner in a living room. The air conditioner is so cold it freezes you out of there.
Fourth Row Down asked if the Buick you were talking about is a LeSabre.
Yeah, the LeSabre. That's right. That LeSabre is one of the best American cars ever made. I never owned one, but I've heard all about it and studied it. And it was like, that's my second choice would be the LeSabre. They made a shit ton of them, and fuck were they reliable. You could abuse those. They just kept running. Buick LeSabre.
I mean, Buick is still around, but you don't really hear about them much anymore.
They weren't fancy. It's a grandma car. It's like some shit your grandma was showing.
I will note that my mom, when she was in her really bad car accident, was driving a Buick, I believe. Yeah. And she still credits that car with, like, her not being killed. Because she got hit head on. Yeah. And it broke her leg and her arm, and she's got, metal rods in them still. But she was okay, otherwise it didn't kill her. So she's, like, really happy she was in that car. I think she even rode to Buick. And like told them how much she appreciated it. Yeah, she was in a horrible car accident. She didn't die.
Another one of the traditional American luxury 4-door sedans. Europe has nothing like that. It's an American thing. They made them in vast quantities. It's like something your grandma would have. You look at them, they're like, yeah, it's a nice looking car, but it doesn't look special. It's just a big, generic-looking car, but they were just built like tanks. And the replacement parts here in the United States are just like water. They're cheap. You can get a fucking fantastic alternator for $120. That'll last you years. The motors to fucking run the windows up and down, the fucking injectors, intakes. Rebuilding the motor's not a problem. The supercharger out of the fucking Ultra Virgins were easy to rebuild. The engine bay is big, so you can get your hands in there and work on things and pull it out of there. Nothing is small or tight. It's all meant to be worked on, because they were fleet vehicles. There were whole fleets of them in the fucking police and the military, because the military used the Ford Crown Victoria. It was also a military staff car. So everything was built for mass fleet use and mechanics and things to be rebuilt and worked on and fixed, and so nothing was difficult. Everything was easy and big, overbuilt.
Tigglytoot says, "You talk too much, Tom. LOL."
Shut the fuck up. Get up, motherfucker. Shut the fuck up.
He's drunk, so don't get him started.
Yeah. You want another drink?
Yeah, I'm only on my first one. You're on your number 6 or 7.
No, I'm not. I guess. Oh well, I was drinking.
Well, yeah, because you were at the biker bar. CB says American cars can't do corners. They're only made really for straight roads. I mean,
that's all you have here.
That's pretty much. Yeah. Well, depending on where you live, because I feel like in some parts of New England it's more curvy. But yeah, most highways here are like really wide and really straight. So there's really not much need for cornering. The same way that there would be on smaller roads. So, but despite that, I mean, I kind of feel like there's still like Toyotas and Hondas are still like the best selling cars here, though. Like, it's still not American cars, you know. Let me see. Oh, Grampler says the backseat of my old man's GM 4-door sedan was sofa big. He'd turn over in his grave if he knew my girlfriend and I did it in his car. Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of one of the perks of having, like, a big-ass car like that.
Yeah. You know? I had this German girlfriend when I was living in Boston, and she was laughing at me because I had a fucking Ford fucking Taurus. It was automatic. And she goes, "You got an automatic?" And I said, "Yeah."
Most people.
And she says, "What the hell do you have an automatic for?" And I says, "Well, you got to have an automatic. How are you going to eat?" And she's like, "What?" And I said, "How are you going to eat when you're driving?" After a while, though, driving around, she's like, "Yeah, I see why you guys have automatic. Driving here is boring." Yeah, driving in America is fucking boring.
Like I said, it's all like it's open,
all straight lines and big.
You don't really
roads.
Need to change gears or anything like that to any great degree.
Yeah, we're driving and eating and multitasking and fucking talking to other people. It's not exciting to drive here.
Yeah, it's really not.
The roads are made to drive easily.
Long distances. Yeah. Like with as little stress as possible. Yeah. So yeah. But I tend to not, like, when I drive, I don't eat while I'm driving or anything like that because I don't like being distracted. But yeah, I mean, but the thing about it is a lot of Americans, well, you'll at least have something like a soda or a coffee or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you can't have both hands going all the time. You got to have this hand over here, like, to do, like, fuck around with your with your music and get your drink and eat your Big Mac. I would need a Big Mac while I was driving. Even when on the rare occasions we go through the drive-thru to get food, which is pretty much always just when we're on the way home from the club, we don't eat while we're driving. We pull over, you know? Or if we're close enough to the house, we'll just take it back to the house and eat it.
Yeah.
But it's like, but if we have to stop at one farther away, we'll just pull off into a park and eat. We don't eat. We don't eat while we're driving.
Yeah, she was astounded that I said, she says, you eat when you drive? And I go, yeah. So finally, I proved it to her. Went through the drive-thru and got the food and was driving and reached in there and got a sandwich and was eating and driving. She was eating and driving at the same time.
Like,
and she was looking at me like,
multitasking.
And it was, to her, it was like we were committing a fucking great crime. You know what I mean? You're driving and eating. I said, yeah. And she's
killing
like,
two birds with one stone.
She's like, only in America. And I said, yeah. Yeah,
pretty much,
but I'm like, look. And she's like, yeah, it's easy. It's easy.
It's
because the American roads are very wide and they're engineered to be driven in straight lines, pretty much, as straight as possible, at pretty high speeds. Because we have a lot of room here. And if there's shit in the way, they'll fucking go over it or make you move your fucking bust up a house and go through it. Because they have eminent domain. They come and they go, look, man, your house, we're going to build a fucking road through here. Here's fucking 4 times what your house is worth. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
as long as you
pay,
get compensated.
if they're gonna put a fucking freeway through your house, they're gonna offer you at least twice what your house is worth to get you to sell because they want you to move.
CB says I got pulled over because the cops seen my girlfriend giving me a BJ at 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, it'll happen.
It'll happen. It's not the safest thing to do.
Yeah.
Not saying I haven't done that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's probably not that smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just, we've done things like that, but probably not the safest thing to do. But like I said, I don't even like to eat if I'm the passenger in a car if it's moving, because it's just too easy to drop stuff and spill it, and you know what I mean. So I would rather just be still.
Yeah.
Tigglytoot says the best place to drive is Colorado. I've heard that. My sister lived in Denver for a long time. And yeah, she tended to like it. She lives in Atlanta now, and I don't really know because I hate to drive. She doesn't mind it, actually. She likes to drive. But the traffic in Atlanta is horrifying.
Yeah.
And I don't know how she deals with it she works remotely a couple days a week, but she goes into the office a few times a week. She works at a museum, and I don't think I could. I mean, Atlanta is massive. The traffic is a fucking clusterfuck, and the airport, don't even get me started on that shit.
Varg's talking about his friend bought a DeLorean. You can still get DeLoreans. They have a cult following here in the U.S. They have a company that buys old DeLoreans and actually restores them to new condition, new motors and everything. I don't really know why. The DeLorean had a cool look to it. It was not from a major U.S. manufacturer. It was from an independent company, a little small independent company. They were making a stainless steel car. It wasn't painted. It was a mid-engine. It had gull-wing doors on it, like a Ferrari. It was kind of like a sports car, but it wasn't fast. It had a Saab engine in it, like a 4-cylinder. I think it was Saab. I think you guys might be able to fucking. It was some kind of foreign engine that they bought, but I think it might have been Saab. Which it was a good engine, but it was just that car was kind of watered down. It was expensive, but it wasn't fast. And there was emissions restrictions during the time that the Saab that the DeLorean came out, so it was never really even going to be powerful. I don't really know why they did it. It did sell though. People liked it. The people that bought it. Did that offer something that the major manufacturers, fucking like Ford, No, fuck no. It wasn't offering anything that the other company. you'd have been better off with like a fucking a Ford Thunderbird would have been a lot better. Which was the Thunderbird was the same car as a Ford Mustang. Especially if it was the Ford Thunderbird Turbo Coupe, and that was a turbo version of it. It was like a Mustang, but it had an independent rear suspension on it. And that was half the cost of a fucking DeLorean. But that would be faster though, better ride, and more car really. But the DeLorean was an interesting thing. It as time has gone on, the DeLorean has kind of like become more of a thing. But when we were kids, when that came out, the only thing that was really cool about it is that it was stainless steel and it had gull wing doors. That's all we knew. And it was it was on Back to the Future. You know. But that car was slow.
I mean, it looked cool. But
it looked cool. That was
all
it.
Anybody cared about.
It wasn't practical.
Varg said, are you allowed to drive naked sitting in the car? Technically, no. But, I mean, if they don't see you and you don't get caught, then, you know.
We got super tinted windows. You can't see into our windows. We can have sex while we were driving.
Yeah.
We made fucking videos and shit while we were driving.
Yeah, because the windows are...
Because you can't see.
We didn't do that. It was like that when we got it.
My car's fucking gangstered out. It's a red car.
Even though an old lady
with black windows, It's like something gangster.
She was pimping.
She was pimping.
But
who knows what that old lady was doing in that car?
I don't know, man. I don't know why she needed windows that tinted, but...
Yeah.
Granther said, in Detroit, seeing some dude getting a BJ from a hooker while driving down the freeways is common.
Yeah.
Seeing a goose on a golf course.
Yeah.
Or an alligator on a golf course, as in Florida.
Yeah.
Tigglytoot says, I have a Kia, and I love it. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good about Kia. I actually, the agency that I work for, I do a bunch of stuff for a couple of Kia dealerships, but I've never owned a Kia. Actually, the only American car I've ever owned was a Ford Taurus. Other than that, I had a couple Hondas.
Nissans.
I had a Nissan.
Yeah.
I had a Toyota. But yeah, I've had almost exclusively Japanese.
Yeah,
cars.
Korean
Or
car.
actually, Nissans are Korean, are they not? Or Nissan's Japanese?
No, Nissan's Japanese.
Nissan's Japanese.
That's Datsun.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking Korean cars aren't bad. They're good.
Like I said, I've heard a lot of good about Kias. I've never had one though.
Yeah, the best. I think the best Korean cars that I knew of back in the '90s would be Daewoo. They made really good stuff.
I remember those.
Daewoo cars. They were really good.
They for sure don't make them.
But it's hard to beat the Japanese. I mean,
like I said, they're still like among the best selling cars for a reason.
Yeah, it's hard to beat Toyota. They're fucking very good. Toyota and Honda.
I loved my Honda Fit.
Yeah.
I just had to sell it because I was broke.
If you live in America, Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury, that's where you want to go because they're reliable. You get a lot of car for a very small amount of money, and the parts, the replacement parts are just free. Basically, free. Replacement parts are free. That's how cheap they are.
I mean, they're technically not free.
Technically free. Okay, an alternator for a Honda might cost you fucking $250, $300 for a fucking big Ford. It's a huge fucking alternator for $90, and you can put it in yourself. You don't need to go to the fucking shop to do that. You just look online. Oh, that's all I gotta do is loosen the belt, these 4 bolts, and put it in and plug it in. Okay, that's it. And you got plenty of room to work with because the cars are big cars. A Honda might be reaching down in there and fucking everything's a tight little fit. Although one of the best cars I ever had was a Toyota Corolla. It's a 1984 Toyota Corolla SR5 hatchback. And that bitch was small and fast, little 2-door, great gas economy, fucking excellent mechanical reliability, really good handling, great braking. But it's a little car. You know, it's just a little car. It's not the same as a big old fucking luxury car. You're in a hotel room, you know.
Well, like I said, when it was just me, I prefer little bitty cars because it's like they're easier for me to park.
When you're with all your friends and shit, you know.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't really like. But the one time I had to drive a moving van, like when I moved from Daytona to Orlando the first time, holy crap, I was like freaking out the whole time. That was a giant. I mean, because I was so used to driving little bitty cars that I was just kind of like, oh my god, I'm going to hit something. Granther says, doesn't your tinted marquee draw the attention of Florida 5-0? No. Not so far.
No.
It doesn't look... Because I guess like anybody that would be like gangsta wouldn't be driving something that old. Yeah. I mean, it looks like an old man car. Mm-hmm. So
brand new old man car.
It's like a brand new old man car.
The cars that the young gangsters are driving right now are the fucking that damn fucking Prowler.
Yeah, nobody would be driving
Prowlers. Is fucking weird shit. You know, Dodge Magnum. You know, shit like that. Remember the Magnum?
That's also
the flat nose cars. But even those the cops here don't care. The cops here they're not looking for people to pull over. We got too many people. They got shootouts here. All right, they got real crime to look for. They're not really focused on you're driving and you look suspicious. We're gonna pull you over.
Now on I-4 they will, but we don't drive on I-4 much. We usually take the toll roads, and there's really not much police presence.
And there are high crime areas, and the cops are all in the high crime areas, taking care of the ghetto. You know, they're keeping them under control. We're outside of that. We're in the higher income areas. There's nothing happening here. It's fucking quiet.
Well, I don't know. Wasn't there that shootout at that meth lab up the street?
Yeah. We have shootouts. But the thing is they took care of that themselves. They shot each other.
It was like a Hatfield and McCoy.
Yeah, the cops showed up.
I think it ended up not being a meth lab because I was like, what was it? A meth lab? Because out here it'd probably be a meth lab.
Yeah, the cops showed up afterwards and they went, well, I guess it's all over. Yeah.
Oh well.
That's how it is. What happened was that there was, and this was out in the fucking woods. There was a house next to a trailer, 2 trailers, and the people in the 2 trailers were convinced that the people in the house were abusing children, and they had a whole bunch of children that they were holding captive and shit, that they were child molesters. And they were fighting them back and forth, and it escalated. As far as
I know, that was not true because they didn't find any evidence of that.
No, I don't think it was true. But it escalated eventually over a period of, it was a couple of years. It escalated into a fucking gunfight.
Yes.
And everybody killed everybody. Basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And then the cops came and just like, well, that's all over.
I guess
all
that's
finished here.
So.
This is not the same world as other parts in the country here. It's just different here.
Like I said, usually if something like that happens out here, my first thought is meth lab.
Yeah.
Because that's almost always
the meth labs are fighting. Yeah.
That's almost always what it is. Because there's a lot of meth labs out here.
We're in the South. The South has an extremely high homicide rate. A lot of gunfights. But if you zoom in and see what the trouble is, you'd laugh. You'd like, yeah, fuck them. Let them shoot each other up. It doesn't fucking matter. It's not involving normal people most of the time. It's involving bad people that hate each other. Nobody cares. I mean, it's actually kind of like saving people money that these assholes fucking wipe each other out. It usually has shit to do with the drugs. The drug trade. It's not... They're gangsters. Most of them. Mostly it's not innocent people. Innocent people do get caught up in it sometimes, but that's not most of it.
Zach says, I always thought Jeeps look cool, but aren't they kind of death traps to drive or something?
Jeeps suck. Fuck
I
Jeeps.
don't know about nowadays, but for a long time, I remember, particularly in the 80s and 90s, maybe into the 2000s, they did have a reputation of like rolling. They roll. Because they were top heavy.
Yeah.
Like, so if you hit something even not that hard, like it would
They're top heavy, and they're also unstable, and they're fucking... And they're extremely... I tried to drive one on an icy road one time. My friend... His girlfriend had one, and I had to drive her fucking Jeep one time, and he was in the fucking... And man, on that icy road up in Boston, man, you're taking your life in your own hands. And it had a fucking rag top. It's just horrible, man. Those things are... The Jeeps fucking suck.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if they've improved any like recently. But
they're kind of like a glorified off-road vehicle, you know? And they're not that good. You know, I mean, a Toyota fucking 4x4 pickup truck is better than that.
Yeah, like a Tundra.
There's just something about that particular look. Some people want that, so they buy that. But I wouldn't want a Jeep. They roll over. They're fucking... You can't heat or cool them because they have rag tops. They're noisy. They're unstable on ice.
Not that we have that.
But I'm just saying they're not these all-weather off-road vehicles like they're portrayed to be. You know what I mean? They're not that good. What man, everybody's fucking what are they talking about in the comment section?
Tiggly said Jeeps break down all the time. Yeah, I've never known anybody that had one. It's just not. I mean, they still sell them, obviously, but and obviously people are still buying them, but I still see them on the road every now and then. But you don't really hear anybody talking. But it's not like in the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. Class has a lot of ice in Florida, Tom. No, there's not.
No, but we were driving up north.
Yeah.
It was up north. I've been all over. And I was at, a Jeep would be good in a fucking in a desert, maybe.
Yeah.
Or in a jungle or in a tropical place, Although it's still not as good as a fucking pickup truck, a 4x4 pickup truck. Like they make these monster mud trucks. Those things are awesome if you want to go through the mud or off road.
There's a lot more options.
Than a Jeep
for that kind of stuff nowadays. CB said my boss has a Jeep. I told him to tell people it belongs to his wife.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, Klaus's Jeep is more for jungles. Yeah, it's kind of more that sort of thing. But still, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know a huge amount about them. They do still sell them, but I don't think it's that big of a thing. Tiggly Toot says those stupid rubber ducks on the dash piss me off so much. Is that, I have seen that. I have seen rubber ducks on the dash, but I haven't seen it for a long time, actually. Remember those what were those little rubber duckies called, but were they devil ducks? There was like a rubber ducky, but it had like devil horns and like little red devil wings, and then they had like a whole bunch of different ones. They were like different colors and stuff.
I have no idea what you're talking
those
about.
Were cute.
I don't remember.
I haven't seen one in a long time. But I think they were called devil ducks. Yeah, I used to see those on people's dashboards. Yeah, Tiggly said it's all the time here. Like, so a lot of people have rubber ducks on their dash.
The thing that's big now...
No little hula girls or anything?
The thing that's big now here in the South are quads, which is like a four-wheeled motorcycle. Those are pretty big. The Chinese are making those now for pretty short money. They're supposed to be pretty good. And then they have some of these quads that it's like a quad, but it's bigger, and it has a roof on it. And that's kind of replaced the Jeep for people that have large properties that they want to do off-road stuff on. Like some people here in Florida have fucking 30, 40 acres.
Yeah.
They'll ride around on those things. And that was the same thing Special Forces is using now. I don't know what you call them. It's like a big four-wheeler with a roof on it.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what those are called. Varg asked what you were drinking. We're both drinking iced coffee. With vodka.
With vodka, yeah.
Spiked iced coffee.
Spiked iced coffee.
Don't know if there's a name for it. We didn't buy any soda today.
Yeah.
But we have a shit ton of coffee and like a big... Because every time I make a pot, if there's some left over, I put it in this big pitcher that we keep in the closet so we can make iced coffee out of it. I still have a whole pot of it over there. You gotta remind me to clean that shit out.
We got some of that hazelnut creamer in there.
Yeah. Are we out of creamer almost?
Almost.
Again?
I'll get some more.
Jesus Christ. We gotta go get more fucking...
Well, I got
and we have to buy a new cat tree, for Christ's sake. Ugh.
Yeah.
In case you weren't here at the beginning of the show.
Crush the cat tree.
Like a minute before the show started,
yeah,
Pookie jumped off the cat tree and broke it.
Yeah. I'll show you.
Like, there was a huge noise. Like, I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, look at that
shit. I thought a bomb went off.
Yeah, look at that shit. This is just the top
That's
part
just the top part of it.
That's just the top part of it.
It just came off.
Yeah, if she broke that off and it hit the fucking door.
She flipped out. Oh, yeah. I felt so bad. She's not hurt, though, because I was worried. I was like, oh my god, is she okay? But we've had that a long time, though, so... I just feel bad because she loves that cat tree.
That took a long time to assemble.
She loves sleeping in it.
Yeah.
Like in the little bowl. The little bowl's still there.
We'll get her another one.
Like she can sleep in that until we get another one. But yeah, let me see. Oh yeah, Gremther says Robert Duvall passed away this week. Yeah, that's right. I saw that. He lived a long time. He was like 94 though, right? So it's like, that's a good run, I guess. CB said, Tom and Jenny, what's the one drink that makes you sick?
I don't have any drink that makes me sick.
Yeah, I don't have any in particular that do. Now there are some liquors that are probably more likely to at lower volume, like gin. I really like gin. But if I drink more than 3, probably I'll puke. Probably because of the acid. But I do like gin, and I'll have it on occasion. Yeah. But I have to not have that many, and then I have to switch.
There's nothing that makes me sick. The only thing that puts me off though is the smell of Chivas Regal. Because I got really drunk on it one time as a kid. I got super sick. If I smell it, I'll just go ugh, almost kind of gag.
Yeah.
I can drink it though if I want to, but I just don't want to. We got a super chat.
Got a super chat from Bee's Nest. Thank you very much.
What's up, Bee's Nest?
Mrs. Otero was visibly upset, making a BTK reference there, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Old BTK. And his sexual problems.
Yeah.
There he is over there.
Yeah.
Him and H.H. Holmes back
Well, you have to understand, I'm trying to be a good man for the community. Well, of course, sometimes I've got these sexual problems. I have to take a woman to the church, take pictures of her. You know how it is.
Yeah.
The Minotaur comes out, got to cube things away.
Happens to all of us, right?
Yeah.
Sure it does.
Yeah.
Sure it does. So what went down at the biker bar today, Tom?
Biker bar.
Anything exciting?
Not really.
Shitty country music?
Shitty country music. A bunch of bikers. They were new ones that I hadn't seen before.
Okay, new bikers.
Met a chick named Valerie. Kind of washed up looking.
Washed up looking.
Yeah. Showed her pictures of I told her about us. Showed her some pictures of you, and she said, "Oh, she's fucking cute." Yeah. I friended her.
Are you trying to get me more girlfriends?
Trying to get you a girlfriend? No, I don't think you'd like that one. That was about it. Trying to think of what else was going on.
Did you play any crazy songs on the jukebox?
No. I didn't want to spend any money on the jukebox.
Okay.
They were fucking playing country music on that shit.
Ugh. That's why I don't like to go down there.
I know.
It's kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes you gotta get in there early, and you have to fucking keep the fucking rock moving on the jukebox.
Otherwise, someone will get IDs.
Then they start fucking. Then boomers start jumping in and start. It's boomers that do fucking the country music.
Well, yeah.
And then what'll happen is some of the younger bikers who are Gen X will try to emulate the boomers and start fucking putting country music in the fucking jukebox.
Like, what are you doing, man?
Dude, man, fucking take that shit out of there, man.
Generation Trader?
Put some fucking Billy Idol in there. Do fucking White Wedding. Let's go some Susie. Put some metal in there, So just something,
something.
Get this fucking country fucking bullshit out of here, man. I'm not a fan of country music.
No, me neither.
And look, my dad was from fucking Laurel, Mississippi. I partially grew up in Heidelberg and Laurel, Mississippi. Very small populations out in Mississippi. They now have fucking television series about where I grew up. Like, it's called Our Town.
No, Hometown.
Hometown, excuse me. And it was country as shit. And we didn't listen to country music.
No.
That is a myth. Country music is fake. I spent every summer of my life growing up. My mom lived in California, and that's where I was born, but my mother was from Virginia originally. But I would go back to the South to visit my dad after their divorce all the time. And I was growing up with a bunch of kids from Mississippi for summers. And that went on for a long time. And none of us listened to country music. That was like some shit that your dad would listen to. And really, your dad didn't like half of that shit.
No, my dad didn't like country
music.
music.
My dad was more into like old rock and roll, like Roy Orbison and fucking Elvis and shit like that. They didn't like fucking country music. Country music, as we know today, is fake.
Well, all that poppy kind of country
it's
music
fake.
that started in
People
like,
from the actual
90s.
country didn't listen to that.
No. I feel like even rednecks are more likely to listen to like southern rock or like classic rock. Not really country.
The kids I was growing up with, on the outer extreme, they were listening to like Journey. Maybe like that was, you know what I mean, like Journey, like fuck that. But that's what they were. But most of us were listening to fucking Iron Maiden, Billy Idol, Judas Priest. Okay, then later on, fucking Metallica. But we also listened to like fucking the Violent Femmes, The Cure. So some of that shit would be like fucking new wave. We like new wave. We'd Flock of Seagulls. Be listening to that. And this is Mississippi, because we had MTV. You know, we weren't listening to shit that our dads listened to. We were listening to what was on MTV.
Yeah, like I said, I kind of feel like Gen X and Boomers was like the last generation to be like, ew, I don't want to listen to my parents listen to. Although, like I said, I've said this before, but my dad was real into like the Beatles and the Doors and stuff like that, and I liked that growing up. So I was never like, I didn't like some of the stuff that he listened to. Like, I didn't really like Southern rock all that much. Yeah. But a lot of the shit that he listened to, I'm like, that's good shit too. You know what I mean?
Now, here's the funny thing. There were some guys that were our age in Mississippi that liked Southern rock, and they would listen to like Molly Hatchet.
Okay. Yeah. See, my dad liked some of that.
Yeah, like some Molly Hatchet,
which I'm not really.
What was his name? Fucking Ted Nugent. Even though he wasn't Southern, he was from fucking Michigan.
Yeah.
He was from Detroit. He was good. I liked him, but that was Yankee music. But then when they would get off on was fucking Nazareth. That wasn't fucking Southern. They were from fucking Scotland.
Yeah.
But we didn't know.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, Nazareth sounded Southern as fuck. I don't know how it happened. I don't know if they were faking it, because the Rolling Stones would fake it. Wild horses wouldn't tear me away. That's fucking fake ass Southern accent. Those dudes are British. But they had Southern people that would fall for that shit. That is the Rolling Stones. Those dudes are from England.
I kind of feel like most Southern people knew they were British. I don't know so much about Nazareth, but I think that was maybe not as well known that they were Scottish.
It was not well known that they were either Scottish or Welsh. I think they were Scottish.
I'm pretty sure they were Scottish, but I thought that everybody knew that the Rolling Stones.
I kind of have a feeling that Scottish people, when they sing, sound Southern to Southern ears, because me and Jen's, we're both from the South. You know, our families have been from the South. My family has been in the South for fucking hundreds of years. We're descend from the fucking Ulster Scots. We're Scots-Irish. You know, we were Scottish people living in Ireland, sent there by the British to oppress the Irish, really, to civilize those bitches. And fucking, we were kind of like the Koreans of the UK. We're caught between England and Ireland. And they started flowing out of fucking Ulster into Virginia. And because of the way those people were, they were country people. They're not going to go to these cities. So they went deeper into Appalachia and then the South. So we're actually descendants of the Scotch. And we have kind of some Irish influence. And when they sing, they sound like us. If you listen to fucking Nazareth, that sounds like a Southern dude. But when they talk, you don't hear it. It's just weird, you know. I think maybe it's because it's kind of like an alternate parallel universe bluegrass music. I don't know.
Well, but then again, there's like some Scottish bands that you can absolutely tell that they're Scottish when they sing. But the thing, and you know what? It's like I saw somebody ask that question on a forum the other day, like pretty much that exact question. Why do some British singers have a thick British accent and some like sound like Americans or whatever?
Yeah.
And, you know, some, you know, musicians and others were kind of weighing in, but I think the consensus was whatever type of music you're doing and whatever type of music you listen to the most, you're going to try and sort of emulate that either consciously or unconsciously. Yeah. So like if a lot of them were listening to a lot of American bands and a lot of Southern rock and stuff like that, then they're going to try and sing like that too. Like I said, they probably weren't doing it consciously.
Yeah.
But they probably ended up just kind of sounding like that.
It's kind of like our friends fucking. I got my favorite fucking Florida band fucking signed onto a label through a friend of ours. A friend of ours, her name was Imani. She was from New York, and she says, "Tom, what's your favorite Florida band?" And I said, "There's a band here called Starry Night. That's my favorite band."
They're from Miami.
They're from Miami. She got them signed. They're Latin. They're Latin American guys. When they sing, they sound like
three of them are.
Three of them are, yeah. But when they sing, they sound they have an English accents when they sing. And that bitch is fucking kinda.
He has sort of
it's also kind of like fucking Christian Death. He sounds a little bit like
he has a little bit of an affectivation when he sings because he wants to sound a particular way.
He'll either sound British or he'll sound like fucking Roz Williams from California.
Yeah. Even though he claims that he hadn't heard Christian Death before, and I'm like,
he asked me. He says, "Tom, who do I sound like?"
I'm not sure if I believe you.
I don't believe. He said, "Tom, who do I sound like?"
And I said, he sounds like Roz Williams.
I said, "You sound like Roz Williams to me." And he's like, "I never heard of him." And
you're like, Christian Death?
Yeah, we were in the hotel with him after the show.
You know,
and I'm like going like, "You never heard?" So to me, you sound like Roz Williams. And Howard, who he's our age, he's the one that writes all the music. He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, it has that vibe to it.
He's an Anglo. He's an Anglo-American. He's like, yeah. And then the next album that came out, I'm like, he sounded more like Roz Williams.
Even more Christian Deathy than
he sounded more like Roz Williams because he started listening to him.
Because he started listening to him, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's a lot younger than us. Like I said,
he's the youngest of our kids.
Yeah. Like I said, I was hanging out with him one time after one of their shows. We were all at iBar, and we got to talking, and he said something about the year he was born, and he said he was born in 1990. And I said, I graduated from high school in 1990. It's like, oh my God, you can be my child. That's so weird. Yeah. Like, I never thought of it. But I knew he was younger. I just didn't realize there was that much of a gap.
Yeah.
But he actually knows a lot about goth music, but he has, like, a lot of gaps because he wasn't around, you know, so...
Yeah.
So sometimes, like, even like Christian Death, you'd think everybody that was into goth would know who that was at least, but he didn't know who it was. So it's like we had to show him. So I was like, that's kind of what you sound like.
All right, Bees, no, so see you around, bro. Yeah, coleslaw, fucking CCR. They're not Southern, but they sure do sound Southern, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and actually, a lot of Southerners really like them. So.
Yeah, CCR
like, you'll still hear
popular
that.
In the South. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll still hear that, like at biker bars and stuff.
Yeah.
Vargas talking about that Boston song, More Than a Feeling. Yeah, that just reminds me.
Yeah.
That last night we rewatched The Men Who Stare at Goats.
Man, that movie's so
And
good.
the reason that reminded me was because it uses that song.
Yeah.
Like, as a part of the plot, and also uses it over the end credits.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
That's maybe still fucking funny.
That's the second time I've seen it, and it's better on the second
George Clooney fucking crushes it.
Yeah.
In that movie. He is just so fucking great. Because, like I said, it's that thing, is one of the things that I find funny in movies. Because, like I said, I'm not a big fan of comedies in general, because I don't like over the top, I don't like wacky, zany kind of humor. But the reason that movie is so funny to me is because the situation is absurd, and, like, the stuff that he's saying is absurd, but he's completely serious about it. You know what I mean? Like, he actually believes this crazy shit that he's saying. He's very earnest. Yeah. And it's just, that's very, very funny to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody in it is good. Like, just the whole situation is funny. But it's like, and it's sort of partially loosely based on a true story, sort of. Like, it's exaggerated, obviously. But it's based on a book that was based on
If you guys haven't seen
shit.
Men Who Stare at Goats, see it.
Yeah.
Really good movie. You can see it for free. On Tubi.
Yeah, it was on Tubi. Because at first we saw it on Amazon Prime and you had to pay to rent it. But then I was like, I'm going to check Tubi because...
Yeah.
Always check Tubi first because they have a lot of movies.
Men Who Stare at Goats is about a real thing that happened, but it's kind of like... They made it funny. The U.S. Army did have a special program trying to develop psychics.
Yeah.
To do surveillance, really. They were trying to do remote viewing. They were trying to make psychic warriors. I read the book. It was called Psychic Warrior, and it was about a dude who got involved in that program. It was called Project fucking Stargate is what it was called. How to remote view things, and the book is different from the movie because the book is kind of serious. Although you could read that book and make it goofy and make this movie, and it's also kind of true. The Soviet Union was fucking thought that we were talking to submarines using fucking psychic abilities. It's just some crazy shit. They thought we were doing that. So because of that, they had opened up their own psychic research program.
Because of a rumor that they
Because of a rumor that they believed.
Which we weren't.
We weren't. But we found out that they thought we were doing that. And that they were fucking looking into psychic abilities. So we decided we should look into some psychic abilities.
Because we didn't want them to get ahead of it
in case there was something to it. And they started to do remote viewing. Yeah. And they had some results with remote viewing. Shit that was... It did work, partially. But it doesn't work in a military system. You can't say, look, I want you to strike this area to destroy this target because we believe there's where the enemy is. And you're like, well, hold on. So you want me to blow this building up because you had a fucking vision? Because you had a psychic vision? You want me to attack? If I do this, if I okay this attack, and it's wrong... What am I going to tell the guys above me? This is a fucking corporation, of course. What am I tell it that I okayed this attack because psychics had a vision? No. So it doesn't matter if the psychic vision works or not. You do not have a photograph of it. So you're never going to beat a spy satellite. But they were doing it anyway. They were trying to figure out if psychic abilities were real. And that's what this movie's about. And there were dudes like they're talking about in this. And it gets fucking ridiculous. And it's fucking great. Because even in the book, Project Stargate, Psychic Warrior, even in that book, the guy who was there and wrote about it says, yeah, this shit started to get fucking ridiculous. They're reading fucking tarot cards and they're doing seances and drum circles.
Like I said,
it's not that.
The movie's exaggerated, but it's not
It wasn't that far from what they were talking
about.
If you're a general in the military and you're a powerful general, you have the ability to open up a strange program with federal funds. And the next thing you know, you got Wiccans and dudes doing drum circles. And they're in the army trying to figure out where Soviet fucking submarines are.
But like I said, one of the funniest. Two of the funniest scenes.
Martial arts gets mixed into it.
In The Men Who Stare at Goats.
Yeah.
Are the scene where George Clooney is demonstrating sparkly eyes.
Sparkly eyes. Or you look at
Ewan McGregor.
Try to
and it's really short, but it's. Oh my god, it's so funny.
You see it? Yeah, I see it now. I see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the whole scene where they're like, they drove over a mine. They're in Kuwait and they're like in a desert. And they drive over a mine and the car blows up and flips. And they're kind of trapped out in the middle of the desert. And George Clooney is saying with perfect seriousness and he's telling him about the dim mak.
The dim mak.
Which we talked about a long time ago on our Bullshido show.
Yeah.
And the way that he's just like so believes it, like wholeheartedly believes it. And he's like, where the dim mak is developed, and it was this guy, and I can't remember what his name was, but he's just like, and this other guy, and they were fighting, and the guy just like touched him like that. And then they both stopped, and then he died. And Ewan goes, wait, he died right there and then? No, it was like 18 years later.
Yeah.
And it's just like he's so fucking deadpan, but he like really believes that was what killed the dude.
Okay, let me back up.
It's so awesome.
When I was a kid, we had these comic books, and on certain pages of the comic books, there were advertisements for shit that you could buy and order. Fucking little army men sold fucking toys and a tank and shit like that. One of the things that you could buy was like shit from the Black Dragon Fighting Society, which is a martial arts society that was actually founded by a true fucking psychopath who actually did fucking fight and make bombs and kill a bunch of they killed some people during an attack in
dojo.
In the Chicago Dojo Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about that on the Bullshido show.
Right.
It sounds crazy.
It sounds crazy.
Like
And it was crazy.
Cobra Kai shit. But
Cobra Kai.
It really did happen.
Yeah.
That's kind of partially where they were going with the Cobra Kai.
Yeah. And what was that dude's name again? Fucking
Dante.
Count Dante. He called himself Count Dante, and he was this fucking white dude with an afro. And he was a hairdresser.
Yeah.
But he was also a martial artist.
Yeah.
And he said he was a creator and a destroyer with his own hands and shit like that. And he could teach you the secrets of the dim mak. And the dim mak was the death touch.
Yeah.
You could just pow, touch somebody and they would die. Evidently not right away.
That's what I was so. And I think the first time we watched that movie, because we had done this shit, they didn't just pull that out their ass. Like I said, that was the thing that Count Dante used to talk about, and we talked about it on our Bullshito show. So I love that they like incorporated that into the Men Who Stare at Goats, and he was just kind of like saying, and just the way he delivers that line, it's because Ewan McGregor's like, no way, like he died right then, and he's like, no, it was 18 years later.
18 years later. Yeah.
And he's just so, but he obviously still believed. Yeah. Because that's the thing, like, in the movie, Kevin Spacey's character, like, supposedly gave him the dim mak, and now he's dying like he has cancer. But it's just like he's convinced that the dim mak, even though it was years and years ago,
he's convinced
that's what's killing him.
Kevin Spacey killed him with the death touch.
Yeah.
Years and years before, and that's explaining why he has cancer.
Yeah.
Because of the dim mak.
And he completely and totally believes it.
Right.
Yeah, Peter says them playing it straight is what makes it so funny. Yeah, that's what's funny to me.
Exactly.
Is that, like I said, it's not the situation is wacky, like the ideas are wacky, but it's everybody believes it and like they talk about it sincerely, and it's like that's way funnier.
Well, Bullshito is that.
Yeah, I mean that's why that shit's funny.
Everything about Ashita Kim. And all the fucking
that's
weird
why
shit
that shit is funny.
That's why that shit is funny.
Because he legitimately seemed to believe that he was a fucking ninja.
Was a ninja. That he could levitate. And that his little gimp assistant would fucking put the damn hula hoop around him and wait a minute, hold on.
And very obviously just like pulling it under his butt.
With this around it, very obviously, and he's floating. And fucking he made a whole little life. A whole economy about selling these VHS tapes to kids.
He actually made.
Probably not much, but he sold VHS tapes to kids. Him doing this.
Yeah,
floating. He's floating, levitating.
People would buy anything back.
They buy anything back then, man.
I mean, I guess people would still buy anything nowadays, but.
And then how to infiltrate a house because you're walking and then you dip underneath the window. And then come back to the other side.
That was my favorite.
And then, like, you throw some dust at a dude and wow. Yeah. Shit that would never work. It would never work in real life.
That was my favorite thing. That was, like, his ninja move where
shit.
He just, like, ducks under a window. I'm like, wow, I never would have thought of that.
And his name was Ashita Kim. It was a mixture of Japanese and Korean. Well, what are you? You're a Kim or you're a... You shit it? What the hell? What the hell?
He's just like a white dude.
He's just a white dude.
He's a
white dude with a Japanese Korean name. It's ridiculous.
Oh, my God. Varg says, sounds like a stupid movie. Which one are you?
No, it's a good movie.
Oh, The Men Who Stare at Goats is a great
Men Who Stare at Goats,
movie.
see it.
Like I said, it's based on... It's loosely based on a real thing, like Project Stargate, like this crazy psychic warrior thing they had going on in the army, like back in the 70s?
It was inspired by truth. No,
so
80s.
It was 80s, 70s.
80s and 90s.
So it was inspired by a true story, but they did a really, really good job of
making it funny.
But like I said, in the
original book, it was kind of funny.
Yeah,
because even they said
like I said, the situation it's just an absurd.
Yeah,
it's a silly idea.
Yeah,
but they took it seriously, which, like I said, that's why it's so funny. Ian Finley says another group that gets labeled American Southern Rock, though they're from Holland, are Golden Earring. Who did Twilight Zone and Radar Love. Yeah, that's right. I didn't even think of that. I actually quite liked that Twilight Zone song.
Yeah.
Radar Love, not so much. But Twilight Zone, they used to play that on MTV, like back in the old days when MTV first started. You know? But yeah, we watched that, and I was like, I was happy that was just as funny as I remembered it being, because we reviewed it, like, a while back. But we had been wanting to watch it again because we were talking about it the other day. And then we rewatched Death Ship. Not Ghost Ship.
Death Ship.
That's a different movie. But Death Ship is from 1980.
Yeah.
And it has George Kennedy and Richard Crenna.
Interesting flick.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, it's this ghost Nazi ship that, like, goes around ramming cruise ships.
Yeah, to try to get blood sacrifice to keep it going.
So then, like, the survivors of this cruise ship are, like, kind of forced to get on this derelict ship because they don't know that that's what rammed the ship. and then
Similar-
there's nobody on it, and
Kind of similar to Shockwaves.
yeah, similar, but
I
kind
think
of
I like
better.
Shockwaves better, actually. Even though Shockwaves is a cheaper movie. I think I like Shockwaves.
Well, it's hard to say. I think I slightly like Death Ship more, but I don't know. They're both along the same lines.
Death Ship had a lot of fucking The Shining to it. Where instead of the Overlook Hotel, you had this ship that was running around possessing people and trying to kill people so it could keep running. And it was a Nazi interrogation ship is what this supposedly was. Like a mobile concentration camp.
Yeah, it's essentially
On the
what
ocean.
they found
Yeah,
out.
it's wild, yeah.
But there was nobody alive on it, but it could do ghostly
It's
shit,
manned
like,
by
on
ghosts.
its own.
Just
Yeah.
ghosts, yeah.
But they don't show the ghosts, which I thought was a good...
Yeah.
Probably because they couldn't afford it. But I think that worked out better. It's like a lot creepier to have just like a window opening by itself or like shit moving by itself without like, ooh, a ghost. You know what I mean? That's dumb. So, so yeah, it's actually a pretty effective little movie. I had forgotten how decent it was. I think we reviewed that one too, but it was a long time ago. Like I said, not to be confused with Ghost Ship, the one with that fantastic opening where that cable comes loose off the ship and cuts everyone in half.
Yeah.
Like on the dance floor, which is one of the best opening sequences in horror movies, like of all time. It's so good. But that one's all right too. But this is a completely different movie. Like I said, this is kind of more along the lines of Shockwaves, which interestingly, like when we were watching this, we found this on Tubi also. And when it was over, like one of the next movies to come up was Shockwaves.
Yeah.
So, Tubi has a lot of stuff. Yeah. Holy crap!
And Shockwaves, is a Florida movie that was filmed here in Florida. I would have never known it because they don't let you know that it's Florida from the movie. But it's taking place in an abandoned 1930s Florida hotel. I think it's in the Gulf of Mexico. It looks very tropical. And they got Peter Cushing playing...
Yeah, I think it's on the west coast of Florida.
Yeah,
somewhere.
they got Peter Cushing playing a fucking ex-Nazi... Or an ex-German... I don't think he's a Nazi. He might just be a German cargo captain for a cargo ship who sank a whole cargo of fucking Nazi zombies who are running around killing people now, and he's keeping an eye out of them.
Who ordered all these Nazi zombies?
All these Nazi zombies everywhere, and they're aquatic zombies. They'd be goose stepping on the bottom of the ocean. They come up and fucking.
It's hard to do.
It's a fucking wild flick, man, and it's very low budget, and the location is very creepy. This abandoned stone-looking hotel in the middle of a tropical jungle in Florida. And it's funny because I looked it up and want to see where that location was where they filmed it. And in the time of the filming, it was out in the middle of nowhere. Now it's in the middle of a town. Mm-hmm. You're like, wait a minute, hold on. There's gas stations everywhere and fucking Starbucks and shit. It was spooky in the movie, but
yeah,
that's the middle of the civilization
it
now.
It looked like there was nothing else around.
It looked like it was on an island somewhere, but not anymore. Shit changes.
Old Restless is here. Haven't seen you in a while, I feel. It says, hey, T and J. Hey, how are you doing?
What is that?
Like I said, I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're talking about,
who we got in there? What's her name?
Francine?
Francine
Francine
Garcia?
Talking about Brazil, so maybe from your
you Brazilian
neck of the woods.
I lived in Brazil. I lived in São Paulo. I grew up in São Paulo. I was there for 4 years. My family was there for 12 years. I kept going back to visit them. But I lived in Indianapolis and fucking Alto de Pinheiros. I lived there also in São Paulo. I went to Escola Graduada de São Paulo.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think CB asked us earlier if we use Spotify or YouTube Music. I have Spotify. We usually just listen to it in the car. I have a couple playlists for going to the club and stuff. That's very curated.
Yeah.
Ian says, I saw a pretty old one the other day here on YouTube. called Screams of a Winter Night from 1979. I don't think I've ever seen that, but I'm going to write it down because, man, I love my old 70s. Was it made for TV? Do you know?
Yeah.
Because I love, like, made for TV 70s horror movie. I don't know why. It's just kind of like a vibe that they had. A lot of them weren't very good, but I don't know. There's just something about the whole aesthetic and the whole vibe of them that's just kind of appealing to me. They just seem kind of creepier. I don't know why. I don't know if it was because it was a kid when I saw... Because I was a kid when I saw stuff like that first. Or if the nostalgia factor is coming into play. That's like, oh, that's a world that doesn't exist anymore. Or I don't know what it is. I'm not really sure. But there's something about it. Let me see. She keeps like so many emojis. So many emojis. Let's see. Francini is cool as fuck. Everybody's saying how cool she is. Okay, that's cool. Like I said, she uses a lot of emojis though.
Yeah,
a lot of emojis. Klaus has changed his name to Sir Klaus Crabus Maximus.
Yeah, he's a big old crab. Name's Kraus. He's the maximum crab. Biggest crab you could. Yeah.
Maximum crab.
Maximum crab. He's a yeah.
Is he like one of those big? You know those big? What do they call those big crabs that are like that big?
Big old fucking coconut crab.
The coconut crab,
big
yeah,
coconut
like that,
crab.
like run around on that island or whatever.
They're the size of a cat.
No, they're bigger than that.
Bigger than a cat, yeah.
They're bigger than that.
I wonder if you could eat them. Are they good?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I was like, wow, there'd be a lot of meat on those.
A lot of meat.
Because, man, I love crab meat.
Yeah.
Sorry, crabs.
They don't have any Cajuns.
Y'all are delicious.
They don't have any Cajuns down there. My fucking cousins, they eat you all up.
That's what I mean.
Eat crab fucking all day.
Can we eat it? Who cares?
Yeah.
We're going to eat it anyways.
Yep.
They'll eat anything.
Makes you want to go to the fucking Chinese buffet, eat up a bunch of crab.
Yeah, I mean, we could if you want.
Haven't been in a while.
That's true. I saw something. Oh, Peter says Salem's Lot was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say that was probably one of the
I got it on
best.
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I got it on Blu-ray.
TV.
One of the best made-for-TV movies.
And it was a mini-series, actually.
Yeah.
Was it? It didn't air
I think
over...
it went on for 2 days.
I think it was 2 nights.
2 nights, yeah. I remember when I was a kid.
Because we have it, you know, if you buy it now, obviously we have it on Blu-ray. It's all in one movie. Yeah. And I think it's almost 4 hours long, isn't it? 3.5 hours, something like that. I think it's a really good adaptation.
It might only be 3 hours.
I don't know. It's long, but...
Because when you put the commercials in it, it makes it even longer.
Yeah,
I think it was on for 2 nights.
Yeah, I think it was 2 nights.
And it's a very creepy movie for TV.
It is, yeah.
Even by today's standards.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah.
Coleslaw says, favorite John Waters flicks? Mine's Female Trouble. Ooh, I don't know if I could pick. I don't know, man. I love Pink Flamingos. I actually really liked Crybaby. I really liked shit, man. What the fuck is the one called with Tracy Turnblad with the dance competition? They remade it with John Travolta playing the divine role. What the fuck was the name of that movie? It just suddenly went out of my head. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The one that had Ricky Lake in it. Like, I like that one too. I don't know. I've
never seen any of those.
They're all good. They're all good.
I just know it's tomorrow. Memento Mori.
That's right.
Should I wear my little fur boots thing?
I guess. Hairspray. Thank you. That's what it's called.
Hairspray. Yeah.
Hairspray. I didn't like the remake as much. I did see the remake. It's not terrible, but I mean, the OG is like much better. But you know, it always is. Almost always. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to see the whole outfit put together because I don't know. It might be a little.
We'll see.
Might be a little too much, but we'll see.
Oh, like there's too much at a goth fucking night.
Well, no, I'm just saying if it goes along with the other stuff.
Okay.
You know. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Klaus says, I played in a band called Salem's Lot. We sucked. Well, at least you're self-aware enough to know what... don't think. I don't even know if they're. I mean, you had a band called Salem's Lot, but it's like you'd think that there would be a band called that, other than y'all. But I guess there's not. How many bands are there? A lot of bands out there like named after Stephen King shit.
I don't know.
There's got to be some. I can't think of any right now because I'm kind of drunk a little bit, but you know what I mean. I'll think of one in a minute. Granther says 70s 80s TV miniseries. Yeah, Shogun, Roots. Yeah, I mean, there was some good shit that came out back then, and like I said, there were
Gargoyles.
Yeah, we reviewed that one
Fucking
too.
Duel.
Yeah, that was 70s.
Duel was really good. Yeah.
Well, that was Richard Matheson who wrote the story.
Yeah,
and Steven Spielberg directed it. Steven Spielberg made another TV movie in the 70s called Something Evil, and that was actually pretty fucking good.
Was it Poseidon Adventure also for TV? Or was that...
I think that was theatrical.
Or was that fucking
the
Towering
70s,
Inferno?
No, I'm pretty sure those were all theatrical. Because the 70s, like, they loved their fucking disaster movies, man.
Avalanche, wasn't that...
Okay, now Avalanche...
Might have been for TV.
I only saw that on MST. That was like the new MST, like Jonah Ray era. That was a funny episode, though. I think Mia Farrow was in that. Wasn't Mia Farrow in that? That had like famous people in it. Holy shit. So I watched Riff-Tracks the other day. There's also, if you like Tubi, which is free. I don't know if you can access it in other countries and stuff, but they have a fuck ton. They have a fuck ton of movies, like everything. And always check there before you pay for anything because they have everything. And they have a fuck ton of MST episodes and they have a fuck ton of Riff-Tracks. And I watched one on there the other day that I hadn't seen because they're always putting new ones up there. And it was, when you said Avalanche, it kind of reminded me. It was called Copper Mountain. Jim Carrey was in it, and Alan Thicke. And it was like early 80s, I want to say. It was before Jim Carrey was famous, obviously. And it might have been before Once Bitten, which came out in 85, which was kind of one of his early roles. But it was this... It was set at... What the fuck is that resort called? Shit. It's like a worldwide resort. It's French or Swiss or something like that originally, but they have ones all over the world.
I don't know.
Shit, I can't remember the name of it right. I'll remember it in a minute.
MetLife? No, what was that called?
No.
Wasn't it?
God damn it. I just went right out of my head. But it was set at that.
Peter Bohr saying that all of those are theatrical that I talked about.
Yeah, that's what I said. I thought they were. Yeah, they're not made for TV.
It was just a long time ago. I was a kid when, in the 70s, a bunch of shit was coming out on television, even if it came from the movies first. But I remember the main one as a kid that was for TV only, Salem's Lot. Yeah, I remember when Salem's Lot came out. But they were playing all kinds of shit, fucking around the world, fucking. What was it? Around the World in 80 Days? Or The Great Race. The Great Race. That was the one. Remember that one?
Kind of.
That would come out on television every year. But what were you saying about it was something, it was a what was it? A resort?
Yeah. Remember we were watching that Riff-Tracks the other day that had Jim Carrey in it?
Yeah.
And it was like half of the thing, actually more than half, was fucking like shitty bands performing. And it was like kind of well-known people at the time.
I remember that resort.
But they were a little bit passé by the time the movie came out.
Yeah, I remember that resort.
But like 60 to 70% of the movie was them doing, and then the other part was like skiing, and then the other part was like Jim Carrey trying to pick up chicks.
Yeah, and then a bunch of fucking movie or a bunch of bands playing.
That's what I said.
It wasn't MetLife. It was
what the fuck is the name of that? It's a very famous resort.
Yeah, it was something I thought was gone.
Yeah, I didn't think it was still around.
I thought it was gone. Yeah, it's still around.
I mean, like I said, it's kind of supposed to be like, you know, classy European and everything, but they have ones like in like lots of other countries, and there was one in California.
Yeah.
And
I'll never remember the name of it now.
It was set at that.
I'll never remember the name of it now.
And the whole thing, you could tell it was supposed to be a movie, but it was only
it was an entire chain of fucking resorts that in the 70s and the 80s people would fucking spend money to go to these damn resorts.
Yeah, it was like an all-inclusive.
And it was all-inclusive.
Like skiing and shit like that.
Skiing, fucking hot tubs.
Kind of a French chalet type of vibe.
What was the name of that shit?
Like I said, it's really famous. I just can't remember it's right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think. It was
probably more akin to a bunch of fucking swingers back in the days, where you take your wife down there and you wife swap and shit. Fucking, it's probably.
I feel you know what? Every movie I see that came out in the 70s, they
all
have that sleazy.
They have that element to them.
I'm like, I feel like a key party is about to break out at any moment.
They had that element where you and your wife could go to this resort and fucking hang out with other married couples and fuck everybody.
And just swap up.
Yeah, just swap, and it's like a big orgy. What was the name of that fucking shit?
Like, I'll remember it in a minute because it's like right on the tip of my tongue.
Because I remember they were mentioning it. I was like, that shit still exists?
Well, no. The thing that I thought was funny about it, and I think the reason that Riff Tracks chose it, is because it was only an hour long. It obviously had people that were kind of big, fairly big stars, and Jim Carrey, who became obviously a massive star later on.
Yeah.
But it was very clearly a commercial for whatever this resort was.
Yeah.
Because they kept mentioning it, and they were like, hey, we're going to go see this band. And I can't remember.
It was a chain of resorts.
Yeah. And I can't
remember. I'm going to fucking go on. I'll ask Rock.
I'm trying to remember the name of Who the fuck? No, I'm trying to remember the name of the woman. Who the fuck was it that sang like a bunch? And she was actually quite famous too, like in the 70s. Like she had a couple #1 hits and stuff, but I can't remember. It wasn't Dionne Warwick. It was somebody like that. But I just can't remember who it was. But then there was like another dude that was singing that I guess was sort of famous, but they were making jokes that he's like, no, I'm not Charlie Daniels, because he did look a lot like Charlie Daniels, but it wasn't. But that guy kept doing Creedence Clearwater Revival songs. It was like he did like 2 or 3 covers. He did Lodi and he did a couple of other ones. And I'm like, do you not have any of your own songs? Or are you just going to do all Creedence Clearwater Revival songs? Because that's all he was doing. But, no, it wasn't Diana Ross. It was, who the fuck was it, man? Forget it. It's like right on the tip of my tongue. If I get maybe drunk.
I'm gonna ask Grok.
It's the movie. The movie is called Copper Mountain.
Copper Mountain. Okay, that'll help me.
So yeah, that's why I was going to tell you. Hyder said there was a 70s TV movie called Race with the Devil. Yeah, that was great. Actually, we reviewed that one. We did a review of that. We reviewed Race with the Devil and The Car, I think, like on the same show. Because they were both like vehicular demonic things. So I think we did them both together. I really like Race with the Devil. Honestly, when people ask about 70s TV movies, I'm always going to go to bat for The Strange Possession of Mrs. Oliver with Karen Black. Because you don't really hear a lot of people bring that up, and that is a great movie. It's really good. I think it was written by Richard Matheson, too. Like, the teleplay. It was one of those movies where it's not horror. It's kind of more a mystery, but it has horror elements for sure. And it's really creepy. But it was kind of one of these stories where it's like I had no fucking idea where it was going. And when it got to the end, like the real reveal, my mouth literally dropped open. Because I was just kind of like, what? Like, it was like that. Because I did not see it coming at all.
Club Med.
Club Med, there you go.
Club Med.
I knew there was an M in there somewhere.
Yeah, Club Med was the name of that. It was a vacation experience. Club Med.
Now, who the fuck performed in Copper Mountain? Who was that chick? She had like the big poofy hair and the sunglasses. And she did the song. I knew the song because it was a big hit like back in the late 70s. But shit, I can't remember. It wasn't Killing Me Softly. It wasn't that. It was, but it was a song along those lines. I just can't remember what it was. Because when she sang it, I was like, I remember this song. This was on the radio when I was a little kid. But it was just like what a weird fucking movie. I had no idea, like, that this movie was even made. I don't know where the Riff Tracks guys, like, find this shit, honestly. And it's funny because because I watched interviews and stuff with like the MST3K guys and everything. And they're like for every movie that we actually did on the show, it's like we watched like a dozen other ones that we didn't do for whatever reason. Because, you know, we didn't think they would work or they were too boring or whatever. So it's like, so this isn't even, you're not even seeing the worst of the worst. You know, you're just seeing like the best of the worst of the pile. But it's like some of the shit that they find, I don't know. I mean, so like I said, some of the movies that they did are fairly well-known-ish, like at least in bad movie circles. But particularly Riff Tracks, like some of the shit they've done, I don't know where the fuck they find that shit. I don't know where the fuck they found this movie. Especially, like, you would think that, especially because Jim Carrey was in it, that it would be better known. I had literally never heard of this movie. And it was literally an hour-long commercial for Club Med. And more than half of it was just bands playing. Like, it was just... And then there was a whole subplot with, like, Alan Thicke in a ski competition, and then there was like him thinking that he was gonna win against this bartender guy who was also, because he was kind of fat.
Okay, Varg is asking what was the name of the movie that had where the car was a killer. Wasn't that called The Car?
I think it was just called The Car.
The Car, yeah. And the car was a satanically possessed car. I think that might have been made for movies. Was that made for the movies, or made for TV?
I don't think that was made for TV. But I could be wrong.
It was a big hit when it got to TV, though. I remember it as a kid.
Yeah.
Because me and my friends from school, we only remembered it from the TV play. I think it was just called The Car.
Oh, well, Varg is asking what was the name of the horror movie when the car was a killer, and he said Carrie, and people are saying no, Christine.
Christine, that's one of them.
That was a Stephen King.
That was Stephen King. There was one before
and
that.
And then John Carpenter made the movie of it in 1983, which is great, by the way.
There's another one that's before that.
I think it was 77. There was a movie called The Car.
The Car from 1977, and it's good too. It's about out in the desert in this fucking black American car with black windows and no door handles, coming out of nowhere, running people over, running through people's fucking houses, trying to kill people.
Like an asshole.
And the car is the devil.
Essentially. They never show who it is that's driving it.
Yeah. Eventually somebody the hero opens, the door opens, and he looks into the car and just goes, and they never show you what's in it.
Which I think was the right decision.
It's Satan. It's a satanic
well, like I said,
fucking car.
It's kind of similar to... Like I said, Duel, which was a Richard Matheson story that Steven Spielberg, I think that was his first or one of his first movies that he did. And that was made for TV. And in that one, it's a trucker that's like fucking with this other dude on the road. But again, you never see whoever's driving the truck. Like I think you see his arm for a second, but it's just like you don't really see if it's a person.
What came first? Duel or the car?
Duel.
Duel did? Okay, so the car might have been a copy.
I'm pretty sure Duel... I don't remember the year the story came out, but it was for sure early to mid-70s. Yeah. And then the movie came out, I think, in 75, although I could be wrong. Yeah. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was 1975. And I think the car was 1977.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so Varg, you want to see...
Pretty sure.
You want to see Duel... That's Steven Spielberg.
One of his very early movies.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. And then after that, you want to see The Car.
Yeah.
And that's a satanic version of it. And then see Christine. And that's Stephen King.
I will go to bat for... Yeah. I feel like of all this...
They're all good.
Adaptations of Stephen King adaptations. There have been so many that obviously they vary wildly in quality. But I kind of feel like Christine, which was made by John Carpenter in 1983, kind of gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. And that's a shame because I think Christine is a great movie. And I think it's a really good adaptation of the novel. It's not close. Exactly the same.
It's close, though.
They changed a couple things, but it's not that different. And Keith Gordon is great in that movie. I mean, I think that's one of the best horror performances of the 80s.
What's different? What's interesting about Duel is that it's a Spielberg movie. I thought that might have been made for TV.
It was.
It was, okay.
Duel was, yeah.
Duel was, yeah.
The card, I don't think was.
Yeah,
But
Duel is
Duel
shot
was.
super well. It's Steven Spielberg, and it's about a guy who's just an innocent dude out in the desert. Gets into a fight with a truck. You never see who's driving the truck.
Nope.
And this dude in this truck, it's a big 18-wheel truck.
And there's like no reason.
And it's kind of no reason, just starts fucking with him and is trying to kill him. And he's trying to survive out in the middle of the desert against this truck. And it's a good flick.
Very good, very suspenseful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real good Steven Spielberg flick.
You can tell that the much later movie, The Hitcher, took some influence from that, for sure.
Now, then later, a couple years later, I think in response to Duel, was something kind of like that, about a fucking evil car that appears out of nowhere in the desert, starts killing people. And it turns out this car is the hand of Satan, basically. It's the devil. It's a manifestation of satanic power. And it's just running around killing people. And it's this fucking demonic car. And you don't know who's driving it. The lead character who's trying to fight it sees who's driving it, but they never show you what he sees. So they kind of keep it.
Which, like I said, I think that's
like,
good. I like
yeah.
that more. Like I said, I like ambiguity. Don't show...
Right.
Because whatever you show, it's going to be disappointing. People are going to be like, that was it?
Yeah.
Lame.
And that was called The Car.
Just don't show it.
And then Stephen King kind of puts the icing on the cake. He kind of retells a story similar to that. And it's a car that's possessed by an evil spirit.
Yeah.
It's called Christine.
He also wrote a later one called From a Buick 8, which was also kind of slightly like a haunted car. But I didn't like that one as much.
Christine, yeah.
Yeah, Dennis Weaver was in Duel. That's right. I remember that.
Killdozer. I remember that one.
Well, they're talking about Maximum Overdrive,
Yeah.
which is based on a Stephen King short story called Trucks. And he said, it's based on Killdozer. Yeah, Killdozer's great, actually. But yeah, you're right. It is the same premise. Gramther says, was Trilogy of Terror a TV movie? I pooped in my drawers when I saw it at age 11. I love Trilogy of Terror. I love Karen Black. I'll watch
Karen Black,
she's
sexy ass Karen Black.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah.
So it's like she was great in Burnt Offerings, one of my favorite movies of the 70s, which I've talked about at length. But Trilogy of Terror is fantastic. I feel like so many people are so focused on the Zuni Warrior story that they forget the other two stories.
Two are good too, yeah.
She's in all of them, but she plays a different character, which I thought was kind of cool. You don't really see a lot of anthologies that do that. But all of the stories are good. Like, that one's obviously the most memorable because that little fucking doll is terrifying.
Yeah.
But
what's so funny about
they did a good job on that.
What's so funny about Karen Black is that my dad thought fucking Karen Black was just sexy as fuck.
She is.
My dad was fucking huge into Karen Black.
She has that kind of lazy eye.
Yeah, he liked her eye.
It's like, that's kind of hot.
Yeah, my dad was just totally rocking up over fucking Karen Black. She's sexy. Sexy ass Karen Black.
That's what I mean. That's what
Very
I'm saying when I say it's like not pretty and sexy are not necessarily the same. Sometimes there's overlap for sure.
She had a pretty face though.
She did.
It's like, but nice
there's
profile.
I tend to find
she had a crazy kind of eye that kind of like it made it better.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of gave her like that distinctive little Like, even though some people would see that as like a flaw or like a weak, but
the imperfection made it. Her imperfection kind of made her more sexy.
Yeah, that's the way I kind of feel about it too. Like I said, because it kind of makes you like stand out more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She had a very specific look, and she just like rocked it. You know what I mean? She didn't try to fix it.
It's kind of like every now and then you see a cute chick, and she's slightly pigeon-toed, and it's natural. She's not doing that. She's actually a little bit pigeon-toed. It makes her cute.
Yeah.
The Japanese love that. But then you have girls faking that they're pigeon-toed. You know what I mean? But no, just somebody who's slightly pigeon-toed is kind of cute.
I was pigeon-toed when I was younger.
Yeah. And you got kind of
actually, well, to a point where I remember when I was little, they were talking about getting me leg braces because my feet were pointed in like that.
If you're foreign, you know what pigeon-toed is. That means when your feet are
slightly pointed inwards, like that.
They point in a little
Mine
bit.
were like that when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I outgrew it later on, so I didn't have to get any of that. Ian says there's also a segment of an anthology flick called Nightmares. Oh, I remember that. I haven't seen that in so long. I've been wanting to like rewatch it because I feel like it was on HBO all the time back in the early 80s. Really, the only one, he said there was one called A Possessed Truck. I kind of remember that, but I feel like Nightmares, the main segment that I remember, and probably everyone else does too, is the one with Emilio Estevez called The Bishop of Battle, about the video game. I don't even remember what all stories were in that one, but I remember I saw it a bunch. When did that come out? 83? I feel like that was about 83. I feel like it was on cable like all the fucking time though, man. That and like... It's funny now because there were so many movies that were on HBO and Cinemax and all that stuff like just constantly in the 80s, and I feel like most of those movies I haven't fucking memorized. As far as anthologies go, probably Cat's Eye, which is also a Stephen King anthology. I feel like I have a lot of that memorized. I just rewatched that again the other day and it's still good.
We've rewatched a lot of movies from our childhood that were much better than we remembered. Like, I grew up watching Cat People, the new one, and seeing that shit again.
The one from the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, the one from the 80s.
With Natasha Kinski.
Yeah, we're not talking about the one from the 30s. We're talking about the one from the 80s.
No, it was from the 40s.
40s, excuse me.
1942.
She's correcting me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, 30s, 40s. That fucking, the Natasha Kinski Cat People is really good. It's aged very well. It's different, but it does kind of adhere to the original story or the original movie. It's close. The main difference is that it's happening in New Orleans, which I thought that was cool because, hanging out in New Orleans. I didn't remember it being in New Orleans.
No, I didn't either. I didn't remember a lot about it, honestly.
Yeah, it was in the South. Very good movie.
Because I mean the old one, the one from the 40s, like I've seen like the Val Lewton one.
It was Chicago, I think, wasn't it?
I believe it was Chicago.
Yeah.
I've seen that a bunch of times, so I remember that one like more.
Chicago is not a exotic location anymore. It was back in those days, but now in the 80s, a more exotic location would have been New Orleans. So they put it there. And Natasha's fucking great in it. Fucking the dude, fucking Malcolm McDowell's in it, and he's fucking great in it.
Like I said, I'll watch him in anything.
There's all kind. It's a great movie, and it has good special effects, good storytelling. Natasha's nude in it about half the movie, and she's cute as hell. It's just a good movie, and it is kind of. It's not scary, but it is kind of tragic. It does kind of have a lot of tragedy in a certain way. These people kind of trapped in this fucking vampiric type situation where they have to kill somebody in order to turn back into a human. If they get sexually aroused, they turn into a fucking Black Panther. If they kill you so they can turn back into a human, and they're trapped in that. And it's just kind of a weird story. Yeah, they're werecats.
Yeah, that's not really
quite cool.
I mean, the original movie, and it's been a while since I've seen the original Cat People, like the Val Lewton produced one. But she did like turn into a cat if she was sexually aroused or jealous. She would turn into a cat then too. But there was the whole thing with the brother and all of that. That was not in the original movie.
Although the original movie was kind of basic by today's standards. Adding that, I thought was better. I thought the second version was better.
It needed more.
It needed more.
I guess just for the 80s. And they wanted to make it like more an erotic thriller.
Yeah. And
like kind of lean into the eroticism of the 40s in a way that you couldn't back then. Back then,
you get in trouble for that.
Well, it was all implication. Yeah. Like you knew nowadays if you watch it, you're like, oh, you know what they're talking about, but they couldn't like come out and say a lot of
Cat People was about werecats, and there was an incest level.
Yeah.
And Malcolm McDowell fucking did a great job as that role. And he's kind of like a serial killer / fucking werecat.
And he's into it.
And he likes it. And he's got a female servant who's fucking named Famale, who's fucking, and she's this kind of mixed Creole type New Orleans chick, and she's fucking totally in love with him and hiding all his dead victims for him. It's just a cool fucking flick. She goes to jail for him. That's how much she loved him. It's just a wild tale. I liked it, and I didn't remember it being that cool, but I was a kid when I was watching it. So as a kid contain or pick up.
Yeah, you should probably watch it as an adult.
You watch it as an adult, you're like, oh,
there's a lot more shit going on in there that you wouldn't pick up.
I didn't pick it up as a kid.
Next Dimension Media says, isn't Cat People credited with the first jump scare, the 1942 version?
Yeah, one of the main jump scares.
Matter of fact, for a long time after that movie came out, they didn't call it a jump scare. They called it a Luton bus after Val Luton, because that's what the scene was. Like, it was this long scene where she's walking along the stalking along, and like the air brakes on the bus. Yeah. But it sounds like a cat. And it was a really good jump scare. But yeah, that was like the first kind of widely considered jump scare in movies. And for a long time, like I said, they did call it a Luton bus. Because that's what it was.
Yeah, so if y'all have not seen Cat People, what was that, 1984, 83?
It was early 80s.
Yeah. The 80s Cat People, fucking with Natasha Kinski.
Yeah, we reviewed that one.
We gotta see that one. That's a great flick.
Joe Saturn said, did you do a review for the punk thriller Green Room? We have not. I've seen it a few years ago, but I don't think we've reviewed it. It's great, by the way, but we should probably review it one of these days. I think they have that on Tubi also, because I think I saw it when I was scrolling around. Klaus said, "What the fuck is that?" I don't know what he's talking about. He might be talking about something.
They're talking among each
other.
Now,
see, Klaus has mentioned again. Yeah. I wrote this down, but I keep forgetting about it. Yeah. I'm amazed you've never seen the UK movie Tony: A Portrait of a Serial Killer. I looked it up. It seems like it's kind of hard to get here. You never hear anybody talking about it. It's kind of like not. I mean, I know it exists. Like, I've seen reviews of it and stuff, but it's like, I don't know. We'll get around to it. I did write it down, but it seems kind of hard to get hold of over here. Klaus says, I remember I was 5 years old when I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre the first time.
Yeah.
Probably too young
First
to watch
time I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre, fucking Gramps will tell you about it. I was getting head by Cheryl Rummelard. Girl we went to high school.
You probably weren't even paying attention.
No, I wasn't paying. Well, I was just like, what the fuck is this? And then the next thing, you want another drink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a brilliant fucking movie.
Yeah.
Because it's super, like I said, it's kind of one of the first movies that you can like smell. You know what I mean? I feel like you can smell that movie. And it's just so grimy and yucky and gross, and you just like feel like you need a shower afterward. But the cool thing about it is like it's so lurid, and like the whole premise of it is just so horrible, but it shows almost nothing, and it's genius. Because I kind of feel like it had, I don't know, probably not now, like, because we've had like so many fucking gory movies since then, but it's like it had a reputation of being this like really, it's like so bad, it's like this really gory, and it's not gory at all. But it kind of makes you think that it is in this weird fucking way. Because just, I don't know, just like the whole premise of it is just so nasty. There's so atmosphere of it is so nasty and horrible. And like I said, I think a lot of that too is attributed to the poor actors who were in this like stifling Texas, hovel with like all this stinky food like on them, just like, you know what I mean? They were putting through these long shoots, and it was like super hot and super smelly, and they was just screaming and screaming for hours and hours, and I'm sure it was like not a pleasant situation at all.
Yeah.
And a lot of that really, really comes out in the final product.
There's a coffee left in this, isn't there?
There should be a whole pot there.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's why I said I brewed a whole pot before the show, because I didn't know if we'd have enough in the pitcher. So just remind me to clean that out before I go to sleep, so I don't, because otherwise I'll get up in the morning and want to make a pot, and I'll be like, I gotta clean it fucking out. You know what I mean? Because I hate having to do that. I always clean it out like the day before, because I hate getting up in the morning and having to clean it out. It's just a little thing, but you know what I mean. I'll wait till Tom comes back, Gramps, to ask him that question, because I'm curious also. We'll see. Peter Bohr said, Jenny, do you remember the dark secret of Harvest Home? I do. I don't remember if I might have made a video for this on my other channel on Scare Salon, but I for sure wrote a big long thing on my blog about it. Harvest Home is actually one of my favorite horror novels of all time. It's by Thomas Tryon. It's the same guy that wrote The Other, which was made into a awesome movie from 1972. That was the one, not The Others. That's the one with Nicole Kidman. I'm talking about The Other from 1972 about the twin boys. That's like really creepy. That's like set in the 30s. That is a great novel also if you haven't read it. But Harvest Home by Thomas Tryon is a fabulous. If you like folk horror, please read that novel. It's one of the most, and I think I said this in my review, it's one of the most insidious novels I've ever read. It's just the way he's able to get under your skin, and like that book fucked me up. That book fucked me up. Harvest Home. And so I was curious because I loved that book so much. And I had loved The Other, and I had read that and seen the movie. And Thomas Tryon actually didn't like the movie adaptation of The Other that much, even though the movie's great. But when I read Harvest Home, I was like, why didn't anybody make a movie of this? So I looked it up, and they did. They made a TV movie called The Dark Secret of Harvest Home. And it had like some big stars in it. It had Bette Davis in it, Renee Auberjonois, who was on he was on Benson and a bunch of other shit in the... Missy Gold was in it. Like, it was a lot of kind of famous people at the time were in it. And I watched it, and I didn't really like it. They changed a lot from the book. It didn't really have... It wasn't as creepy as the book. Like, the characters were a lot more unlikable than in the book. But if you've seen the TV series, like, the book is, like, way, 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 way better. The book's way better. That's honestly one of my favorite horror novels from the 70s. It fucked me up. It creeped me the fuck out. And I can't explain exactly... I mean, I like folk horror anyway, but it's just like the way that it just... you know it's a horror novel, so you know something bad's going to happen, right? But you don't really know how it's going to happen. And just he introduces it so fucking... subtly. It's just, oh man, it's so good. It's so good. It's literally one of the best horror novels I've ever read. Yeah, Peter Moore said, I can imagine the book is even spooky. Yeah, the book is like 1,000,000 times better. So actually, if you like, because I didn't really like, I saw the TV movie after I read the book, and I didn't really like the TV movie that much. Because they changed too much, changed the characters too much.
God, the new coffee's really good.
Yeah, it wasn't the same. But if you liked the TV movie, please read the book. The book is fucking excellent.
Try that. That's new coffee.
Well, mine is not new coffee?
No.
You gave me the old shit?
Yours came out of the damn...
Okay, cool, thanks. No,
it's just...
I'm just kidding. I don't care. It all tastes the same to me, pretty much. Like I said, just remind me to clean that out before I go to bed so I don't have to do it in the morning. Gramthers asked about the blowjob, I'm guessing. How did Cheryl rank?
Who is this?
Gramthers asked.
Oh, no, Cheryl...
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre blowjob, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
He's asking about.
Yeah, I was down in fucking Cheryl's...
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I was in Cheryl's basement.
He remembers.
Yeah. Cheryl's fucking great, man. What are you talking about? Fucking, he knows who I'm talking about. She's this redhead, voluptuous redhead. She's now fucking... she's a nurse. I think she's a head nurse down one of these... yeah, fucking... You know, remember how Cheryl was, man? Hell yeah. And fucking Steve was jealous as a motherfucker, man. Because that was his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, but ex-girlfriend.
It was an ex-girlfriend. Yeah. And he was like, oh, I don't care. But went out with her. Then he cared. And
they always say they don't care until some other dude starts touching them, and they're like, oh, suddenly they get butthurt.
And he cared. And then we go to the Lace-Arium. Remember the Lace-Arium to go see the fucking Pink Floyd show. Oh my God, and I got Cheryl with me.
I used to go to that shit all the
time.
Yeah,
and fucking Steve's with his girlfriend, right? He's with his girlfriend. He's jealous that I'm with his ex-girlfriend. But, dude, that was a couple years back.
I'm sure his girlfriend was really happy about that.
His girlfriend didn't know. It's dudes, man. It's a dude mentality.
Dude, they're so bitchy.
Yeah. He was protective of that one. I think that was one of his first girlfriends.
Yeah, maybe so. Tom Baker says, I never heard of Harvest Home. Oh, man. Please read it. If you haven't read it, it's like it came out in the early. Well, the movie came out in. When did they make the movie? I feel like that was later, but it came out in the 70s for sure. But it was Thomas Tryon, who, fun fact, actually was an actor. I believe he was in I Married a Monster from Outer Space. He was in like a lot of kind of 50s like horror and sci-fi, and then he quit acting and became like a novelist later on. And like I said, two of the big ones, The Other, which is great. Like I said, you know that movie. It's the one about the creepy twin boys.
The Other.
Yeah, from 1972. I
love that movie. I want to see that movie again.
Well, the book, he wrote the book that was based on, and it's great. But he also wrote one called Harvest Home.
Yeah.
Which is fucking fantastic.
If you guys have never seen,
I have it somewhere.
If you guys have never seen The Other, you got to see that. What year was that? 79, maybe 78?
72.
72, that old. The Other. The Other is American folk horror. That's a good way to put it, I think.
Harvest Home is also folk horror. Actually, probably more folk horror than The Other is.
Yeah. Instead of Germanic folk horror, it's American folk horror. And it's about... Well, I don't want to spoil it. It's about two twins with psychic abilities.
Yeah, it's set in the 30s.
Set in the 30s, yeah.
And it's two twins that have a Russian grandma.
Yeah.
And she teaches them how to essentially
astrally project.
Yeah, and like put their consciousness into like birds and to into others, so they can experience life through different eyes, essentially.
Yeah, and that's only the beginning of that story.
But please don't spoil it, because if you've never seen it,
and listen,
because it has like kind of a
and the shit gets sideways. It gets very evil, and I love
that movie.
Scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Yeah, it's really creepy. And the cool thing about it, I think one of the best things about the movie is that it's one of the rare examples of like what they call sunlit horror, like done right. Most of it takes place in the daytime.
Yeah.
But it's still super fucking creepy.
And it's in the American countryside in these farms. Yeah. In the time of the Ford Model T.
Yeah, like I said, it's 1935 or something like that. It's set like somewhere in the 30s.
Yeah, they have radio. They're listening to radio fucking programs, but it's just a weird move. It's weird.
Harvest Home, which is his other book, is set in... I think that was set like in a time contemporary with when the book was written, so 1970s. But it's kind of more about a guy and his family who are kind of like big city, but they decide they're going to move out to this little bitty rural community, like for R&R, like rest and relaxation, get out of the rat race type of thing. And folk horror ensues. So, yeah, it's... Like I said, if you haven't read Harvest Home, I'm just sad that it's not better known as far as like the big horror novels go. Like, Haunting of Hill House. Yeah, everybody's read that. Like, I Am Legend. Everybody's read that. But I kind of feel like Harvest Home gets short shrift, and that's a shame because that's a great book. The Other is great too. But Harvest Home is literally one of the creepiest fucking books I've ever read. I don't know why. Maybe it was just me. But, and the TV movie really didn't do it justice, sadly. I really wish somebody would do a really good adaptation of that. But I don't know if you could capture it. I'm not really sure you could capture the shit from the book. Man, that book creeped me the fuck out. You know what I mean? Klaus asks, what's the best adult movie or porn movie?
New Wave Hookers, Part 1.
Oh, Tom had an answer immediately.
Immediately, yeah. New Wave Hookers Part 1, but the original with fucking... you can't get the original. I remember when this shit came out. Because the original had... fucking what's her name in it, and she was underage at the time. What was her name? You didn't know she was underage. Everybody thought...
Tracy Lords?
Tracy Lords had Tracy Lords in it.
Okay.
That was one of the best porn movies of all time.
Speaking of John Waters,
yeah.
Tracy Lords was...
That was... What is that? What year was that? 80... But that was definitely one of the best ones, just because it was epic. It had good-looking girls in it, and it was just ridiculous. And it was it had really good energy. It was a fun... It was 1985.
Okay, there you go.
1985. Let's see. There was the original cover with Tracy Lords on it.
I remember that cover, but I don't remember seeing
Yeah.
I don't think I saw that.
That was the best, probably one of the best ones.
That is like
With
the most
Tracy
80s thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, 80s as fuck. And that's Tracy. But you can get it. You can still get that movie, but Tracy's scenes are cut out. She had like 2 in there, I think. And she was like only 17, I think, during that time. But nobody knew she was underage.
That's how she got away with it for so
Yeah.
long.
She didn't look underage.
Tom Baker, when I was talking earlier about Harvest Home, I guess, says, sounds like Burnt Offerings. That movie is hard to beat. Yeah, Burnt Offerings is legit one of my favorite 70s horror movies. I love the Hungry House trope, which you also see in The Shining, obviously, and in Haunting of Hill House, too, now that we're thinking about it. I actually did a video on my other channel and a big long blog post comparing Burnt Offerings, the movie, to the novel, which was written by Robert Marasco. I will say, though, that the movie and the book are very similar. Other than the fact that the book has like a pretty... Well, the book isn't long, but it's like the first probably 25% of the book is the Rolfe family like in their cramped little apartment in Queens, Brooklyn. I can't remember. It was one of the boroughs that they lived in like before they went to the house. And the ending is slightly different. Like the outcome is kind of the same, but just like stuff happens at like different order. But it's pretty similar. The book is good if you haven't read it, and it goes a lot more into Miriam's inner thoughts, like what's going on in her head. So it's a lot like creepier in that regard because you can kind of see what's happening internally. But I thought that was a really, really good adaptation. Man, that movie, the first time I saw that, I think I was maybe 12 when I first saw that. That movie scared the shit out of me. Holy crap. Especially like that fucking chauffeur. Oh my god. And that is from the book. That was in the book too. But it's like, in the movie, it was like... And that dude was in... Remember we watched Burnt Offerings again the other day, and I was like, that chauffeur, the actor that plays the chauffeur was in another movie that we recognized him from.
Yeah. I don't remember the other movie.
But I don't remember what it was at the moment. But it's just kind of
He was
like...
in several movies. He was
you
in
know
a
what?
bunch of TV, too.
The first time, and I think I maybe have said this in the video that I talked about, but I said the first time I saw Burnt Offerings, I was at a slumber party at my friend Tanya's house. And my friend Tanya, her dad, I mean, I grew up in a fucking trailer park, okay? Like, I'd never seen a house like this. Her dad was a heart surgeon. And so her family legit lived in a mansion, like an old school, like big sweeping marble staircase, chandelier, the whole fucking servant staircase, whole 9 yards. And she had a slumber party at her house. And we watched Burnt Offerings at that slumber party. We were like in this little room. We all had little blankies and we were on this like old Victorian looking couch, like watching this shit. As soon as that chauffeur came on, we all scattered. Like we were like, nope.
Yeah.
Everybody just, some from them ran to the bathroom. Some would just put the blanket over their head. It was just like, I mean, like I said, we were like 11 or 12, you know what I mean? But it's like we were little.
Klaus was talking about Tracy Lords in Lawnmower Man. Yeah. She was also in...
That was a terrible movie.
Yeah, Lawnmower Man. But she was also in Blade. The first Blade. And the first 2 Blade movies are really good. Third one wasn't that good. But the third one had a friend of mine in it. Fucking... what's her name? Parker Posey. Her real name is Missy. But I know her from Mississippi. And her brother. I was actually closer friends with her brother. She has a twin brother. But no, Tracy was cool. Tracy just, if you look at, Tracy wasn't popular with the pedo crowd because she looked old for her age. You know, at 16, she looked like a 21-year-old.
Yeah, see, pedos aren't interested.
Pedos aren't interested.
They would rather see an 18-year-old that looks like an
15-year-old.
that looks like an 11-year-old.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, she was fucking stacked, and she looked like a grown woman. But what happened with her is that she was from the L.A. area, and, you know, fucking, I know that area too, fucking, having been born in Carson. And she was a pretty chick who was from a low-income family, and she wanted to have nice clothes, and she's in high school, and she found a way where she could fucking have cool clothes, you know. getting involved with these fucking porn producers. And back in those days, a girl could make a lot of money, you know, a couple $1,000s a day. And she struck it rich for a while, but they caught her. Her ID was fake, but they were astounded. She didn't get any, you know, nobody really got any trouble for it because the judge in the case looked at her and goes, "Yeah, how would you know?" You know, her ID said she was legal, and you look at her, she looked legal.
Yeah, it's not like they didn't check. It's
yeah,
just
they checked her ID. She had a fake ID,
and apparently it was a good one.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, and I think she was like 16 when she was starting, but she looked like she was 22. So who would know?
Yeah, nobody thought she looked
No.
David Brown said about burnt offerings. I believe the book ended with the pool scene. Is that right? Been ages since I read the novel. That sounds about right. Like I said, I wrote a whole thing about it that was super detailed. But yeah, it was kind of different because in the movie, spoiler alert for books and movies, it came out like 40 years ago. In the movie, the kid doesn't drown in the pool. Like, he's starting to drown, but then Oliver Reed's character, he's kind of comatose and he can't save him. But she gets out of the house and pulls in and saves him. But in the book, she doesn't. She looks out the window and sees he's drowning, and she's kind of like, oh, should I save him? Because, like, at this point, like, the house has completely taken her over, right? And like I said, you're inside her head. And she tries to kind of get out, but the house won't let her out. So the kid does actually drown in the pool. In the movie, obviously, she pulls the kid out, but he's killed later. Like, so everybody that's... I mean, the dad and the kid both die in both mediums. It just happens different. And then she lives and becomes Mrs. Allardyce. Although, in the book, they pretty much specify that when that door to Mrs. Allardyce's room is opened, it's kind of like... he's kind of vague in the way he describes it, but it's almost kind of like another... I don't want to say another dimension, but it's just kind of like a white light kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, the house is like the Overlook Hotel, like Hill House, is a living entity. Mrs. Allardyce is just like a personification of the house. You know what I mean? She's not a person. So when, like at the end of the movie, when Miriam or, you know, Karen Black, like becomes Mrs. Allardyce, because you never see Mrs. Allardyce. She doesn't exist. She's just a personification of the house. The house is just draining all of their energy. It's like a living entity type of thing.
Varg's asking, are Tracy Lord movies good? Yeah, they're good. And they weren't before porn. It was after porn.
The only stuff other than porn that I've seen her in was John Waters movies.
John Waters, yeah. She was in John Waters movies.
She was in Crybaby. She was great in that, actually.
And she was also in... she was in... what was the fucking vampire movie I was just talking about? What was the vampire movie, Jen?
What vampire movie?
The vampire movie that Tracy Lords was in.
I don't remember.
Oh, fucking... Blade. She was in Blade, the first one. And she's in like the first 10, 15 minutes. No, Tracy was talented. She was good. She just happened to end up in porn first because she was young and she wanted money and her family was broke and she just wanted to have cool clothes so she could go back to high school with cool clothes. She got involved a little bit with cocaine, but she kicked that habit. And then she ended up doing movies. Waters was real good at like hiring people who were misfits. And he was in one of Waters. She was in one of Waters' movies, and she was good in that. It was called Crybaby, I think. But she's pretty, had good talent, a good personality. Everybody liked her. She ended up marrying a guy, last I heard, when she was young, you know, in her 20s, late 20s. She just would hang out at, I think it was a little fucking bar somewhere, and ended up marrying the bartender. So she just kind of lives a regular life. She married a bartender, and the bartender didn't know who she was, you know. And I saw a little interview with him. She goes, I had no idea who she was. Because there was a lot of stigma behind her about that thing that happened. And by the time he knew who she was, he'd already fallen for her, and they were fucking great friends and got married. So, but just because she kind of had a weird beginning, you know, she was a fucking kid when she got involved in that. You know, I mean, you can't really judge a person that young getting involved in that, you know. But she's evidently very cool and, you know, just a normal person. She just was under different circumstances. But last I heard, she got married to the guy who was a bartender, and they're cool. They're just having a normal life. I haven't checked up on her lately, but, you know, she's probably doing something somewhere.
Well, I'd imagine. That's what most people are doing.
I don't think she is in obscurity. You know, per se. She's not making movies. But, you know, she's just living a normal life.
Counterlock said Tracy was a singer in a club scene in Virtuosity.
Yeah, she could sing too.
I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah, she was talented.
Or if I haven't seen it in a long time.
Tracy Lords was talented.
I don't
you would
remember a
think,
single
come
thing
on,
about
man,
that
you're doing kiddie porn when you were a little girl. She wasn't a little girl. She was fucking a grown fucking. She was underage, but she was grown. You wouldn't know that she was 16, 17. She carried herself like a woman in her 20s, and that was not the market she was appealing to. But she was very talented. She could act. She could sing. She was good.
Ian Finley says, seen Night Dreams and Cafe Flesh. I don't think Night Dreams sounds kind of familiar, but Cafe Flesh, no. But I will write both of those down, and we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll get around to them one of these days. I mean, and like I said, I know that it takes me a long time to get around to stuff, but if anybody has any, I have a couple of book reviews I have to do. Well, I have to do one before mid-March because that's when that book is coming out. The other book I think isn't coming out till June, so I have until that. But I got like a couple of authors like sent me some new books to review, so I have to do those. But it's like if you have any recommendations for obscure, even if they're new, I don't care if they're old or new or whatever. Like as long as they're good or you think that I would like them, let me know because there's so much shit out there that it's like hard for me to curate. So I kind of rely on other people's recommendations, you know, like for stuff. Because otherwise it takes me too long to fucking kind of filter through everything, you know what I mean? So, and like I said, if you have any like other shit that's on YouTube or anything like that, like 70s TV movies that I haven't seen or shit like that. Let's see. Oh, Ian Finley said the porn discussion a while back prompted me to ask about those. Okay, so that's what he was asking about. Was like porn movies. Night Dreams and Cafe Flesh are porn movies. And I don't know, best porn movies. I don't think I've ever watched a whole ass porn movie like all the way through because why would you? You know what I mean?
They don't really make porn movies anymore.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like
they make scenes.
Even the old ones are kind of like they're fun to watch for like novelty's sake, but they're sort of boring after a while.
The 70s ones were like movies.
Yeah.
But they're not very good movies. They're not really good movies to watch, and they're not really good to jerk it to because fucking there's too much movie. So it's like
there's
a
too
bad
much movie
mix.
in this movie.
Yeah, there's too much movie in this goddamn movie. That's why in the 80s it just got to fucking, they tried to minimize it to just a sequence of scenes. And then they said, fuck it, well, these scenes don't have to be connected. They could be just single scenes, because dudes are just jerking it to this. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's like we don't need all this plot.
We don't
bullshit.
need all this plot. They don't even have to be connected. So all that shit slowly started to go away. It started to evolve. Now now porn is a fucking 5-minute clip from the fucking cell phone of a couple fucking doing some fucking crazy shit for 5 minutes.
Because
that's all you need.
All you need.
And that cut a lot of the parasites out. Because think about it. The porn companies were parasites. They weren't really needed. They were more like the middleman. They were trying to fucking make money off of female performers and male performers. Because they had technology to record what was happening. And they were trying to sell it in a packaged deal through a bunch of distributors. And they were all taking a cut. They were all parasites. Really all it was dudes wanted to jerk it to an image. So now a woman with a cell phone can make an image and sell it directly to the dude.
Cut out the middleman.
No fucking middleman involved. It's all her money. She's the one working anyway. It should be her money.
I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that the technology is much cheaper, anybody can make it.
Yeah, back in the day, you needed a video camera.
Like I said, it's harder.
It was the size of a cereal box.
It's harder in a lot of ways because there's a lot more competition, obviously.
Yeah.
But at least you don't have to go through all the rigmarole of having like a middleman. Like
what it was back then is that everything was filtered through who could produce. So if you could produce, millions of people would watch it because not many people could produce. Now anyone can produce with a cell phone.
So it's like it's a lot more...
It's more democratized.
It's it's a lot more diverse, and you can actually cater to smaller niches because you don't need to appeal to the masses.
Mass market. You don't need to appeal to a mass market. Now,
you just need to appeal to enough people to like make a living. You know?
Some of the shit that me and Jen did was for a specific customer who paid up front for the video.
Yeah.
And it was only a few minutes.
Yeah.
No middleman. Got paid, it's over with.
And it wasn't that weird, so...
Yeah, it's not that weird.
It wasn't weird.
So, and probably only one person saw it. Maybe he shared it with a few other people. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not bothered.
So, So it's a different world. So now it's just reached what its market value is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the shit, go back to a lot of that shit from the 80s and the 90s. So when it got to the VHS level, where it was just a bunch of scenes, like fucking, what was her name? Tiffany Towers. Go watch a Tiffany Towers scene and see how little she actually does in that scene. And how tame that scene was. She only got paid maybe $700 for that. Okay? Now you couldn't make any money off of that. That really wasn't worth that.
But back then it was because there
was fewer amount of people.
Yeah. So people were paying for like a smaller pool of stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like you said, there could be like porn stars because everybody saw the same shit. You were going to the video store, everybody was renting the same.
There aren't really porn stars.
Yeah, it's just too democratized.
There are porn influencers.
Yeah.
Lily Lou is a modern version of a porn star. She's more like an influencer. And a lot of it came from her fucking Instagram. And, you know what I mean? And she's more like a YouTube star or something more than anything else. So you can't be narrow. Now everything has to be broadband. You can't just be a one-trick pony. That's great. Because it's kind of dividing the wheat from the chaff. Some chick who's just got a nice body just showing her boobs, she's not going to make a bunch of money. She has to have some kind of talent and a personality. She now has to be part of social media. Which that's fine. That's just the way it's evolving. To the victors goes the spoils.
Like I said, it's kind of like...
That's how it is now.
I mean, previously it was harder to get into the industry because, like I said, nobody really had you had to go through middlemen because...
They had technology.
Because it was expensive to produce things and things like that. Yeah. But now everybody can do that.
Yeah.
Which means everybody can do it. So, like I said, there's a lot more competition. There's a lot more crap out there. So it's like harder to stand out, which is another pain in the ass. But I would rather have it this way than the other way because at least there's no gatekeepers, really. You can just put up whatever you want to put up. I was going to say that...
You don't have parasitic middlemen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The creator's getting her money. That's another thing. And there's more of them, but... It's kind of divided up. The people who don't do much or don't call much attention, people who are not very talented are kind of like being forgotten.
Well, the thing about it is that if you do that, it's just like anything else. You have to grind.
Yeah.
Because there's so much competition.
Yeah.
You have to put shit up all the time. It's a job. It's a full-time job. You can't just be like, oh, I'll put something up every now and then. That's not gonna. No. You're not gonna get anywhere like that. It used to be. You have to constantly be on social media.
It used to be that dudes who just work normal 9 to 5s will see a porn star and say, oh, she's got it made. It must be so easy. Not anymore.
No.
Those girls fucking work hard to make basically a little bit above minimum wage.
Yeah, they don't make that much money. And honestly, they're probably working longer hours than 9 to 5, I would imagine. Well, because between all of the shit even if you're just making videos,
Yeah.
even though a lot of them do videos and they do live streaming, which takes up a lot of your time. Like I said, you got to get ready for that shit. You got to do this and that, and you have to be on social media. You have to be posting
all the time,
interacting with people all the time. It's like a 24/7.
Yeah, if
you can't stop.
If you're a chick that's addicted to social media, that'd be a good job for you. If you don't want to be on social media all the time. Me and Jen did it because she was in between jobs. We were doing that shit. And that's a hard work. You will make money. It's just that you constantly have to.
But you have to.
It's fucking hard work.
You got to be on all the time. Like I said, it's definitely work.
Yeah.
It's not just like, it's not easy. It's not.
Yeah. Just because you think that shit's sexy because you saw the video doesn't mean it's really sexy for that person. That's part of their job.
Yeah.
And then they got to promote, and they're fucking talking to people.
Because everyone else is doing that.
Because they're all doing it. You got to compete.
You have to compete. Yeah. It's just like a constant grind.
Yeah. And
like
really,
most things are nowadays.
And really, the video is more like it's kind of more like an advertisement for your other services. And in me and Jen's case, we were making money off StreamMate, doing live stuff. Her and me together. And it had to do with what the customers wanted. And that shit sucked because you're kind of like sitting around waiting in the studio for somebody to pick you up. You're kind of like whores on the side of the street waiting for a car to go
that's
by.
Exactly what it's
like. Exactly what it feels like.
Except you're in your own house.
People jumps in, you go, hey, how you doing? And you're talking to them.
And then you got to do what they want.
Let's have a threesome. Okay, we're having threesome. And then you're kind of got to, you kind of like, you're making it up as you go along.
Yeah, you got to do what they want to do.
Yeah, and if you're a dude, then you're under the pressure of fucking rocking up as quick as you can. Because this dude's probably only going to fucking spend 5-10 minutes with you.
Yeah, because it's expensive.
You might make $50 off that 5 minutes. But, you know what I mean? It's kind of, so the pressure's kind of up on you. If you're women actually have an easier job because they don't have to rock up.
Well, you still have to do it right.
You still have to do shit right. You got to put on a good show. And is it sexual? No, not really.
No.
Doing
the videos for us was a lot more fun because it's like we could
got control
exactly what we wanted and we could control it, and it's like that was a lot hotter. Doing stuff live for other people.
Nah.
It's like, it's better than some jobs I've had, but
you're on a time limit.
Yeah.
Because
it's kind of stressful too, to be honest with you. It's kind of stressful.
Yeah.
So,
and what was funny is that before we started that job as a couple, fucking pimping ourselves out, I was thinking, man, these dudes are going to be giving me a bollocking. They're going to be fucking with me, man. They're like, get that dude out of here. No.
I don't think that ever happened.
No. I didn't expect that dudes are like, hey, who's that dude? And then all of a sudden they're like, no, can I just have him? And I was like, nah, I don't really feel comfortable with that, man. Fucking, but
it was more like, because we were advertised on Stream8 in the couple section.
Yeah, right, yeah.
The dudes that came in there tended to be bisexual.
They tend to be bisexual, yeah.
Or wanted to see a couple doing stuff.
Yeah. Which is usually, there's a lot of times the same thing.
Yeah, so if it was somebody that just wanted a solo female, they would have gone, because there's a bajillion of those.
I wasn't thinking about that at the time.
Yeah, so it's a self-selecting.
Yeah. I didn't realize I would be an attraction. But no, I was an attraction. The dudes were fucking asking me how much I weighed, fucking how much I worked out, fucking this and that, and fucking can I do this and that. Some of them were very cool. Other ones kind of fucking put me on the spot. Hey, can I just have a solo, just you, and maybe like fucking, do you have a pocket pussy or something? I don't want to see you. Fucking, I was like, nah, not really, because I don't know if I could rock up for this dude. And some of them would turn their cameras on. Most of them would turn so you know who it is you're dealing with. And I thought it would be some disgusting motherfuckers. No.
None of the ones that turned their cameras
good-looking
on
dudes, and they were younger than me.
They were all okay looking.
Yeah, they were good-looking dudes, younger than me, most of them, and a lot of them were jacked. A lot of them were bodybuilders. Fuck, how many of them did we get fucking that turned their cameras on? Probably most of the ones that turned their cameras on were into fitness and fucking...
Yeah, I don't remember anyone that turned their cameras on that
was out of shape. No.
That wasn't at least, like, decent looking.
Yeah, if they turn their cameras on, they want you to see them, and they tended to be fucking in good shape. All that shit surprised me. I thought it was going to be a bunch of trolls. No. Ogres. No.
I mean, maybe there are some people like that, but they didn't turn their cameras on.
Yeah, but that was less than half. Maybe 1/3 of them didn't turn their cameras on.
Yeah, it was rare. Like, most people did, actually.
And the ones that didn't turn their cameras on, they were at least friendly.
Yeah, we didn't really get too much.
Didn't get anybody that was assholes.
Not really.
And they tended to be European guys.
Yeah, we got a lot of Brits.
A lot of British guys. A lot
Very
of British
very
bisexual
polite.
guys. Who were married.
Super polite.
Super polite. A lot of them married. And since your wife doesn't know. No, I could never tell her. Really?
I was like, aw.
All right, well.
That's a shame.
And then they wouldn't be demanding. They were like, Luke, just show me a good time, man. Fucking, okay, yeah. And then me and Jenna just, it was when they wanted some specific shit. Like, I want you to be like the king of a fucking
That was a little
cult
weird.
on a fucking desert island. And
I have a hard
women
time
worshiping you. And I'm
I
like,
have a hard time
what the
doing
fuck?
that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I was in the
I
theater.
had to be like
Yeah.
a queen of another tribe that was kidnapped, and
Yeah,
you were gonna
yeah.
rape me if
Yeah,
something
yeah, that was
didn't
the
go
wild
right
shit.
or something. I don't
That's
remember
the
what it was.
Well, you know, I
It was
have
a whole story that he thought
Grandma's to
of.
tell you, man. We were in drama school together, so I have a fucking drama background. I can make shit up. It was just fucking funny, you know. Crazy.
Counter Orlok says, I still recommend Jess Franco's Faceless from 1988. Yeah, I think I've only done one Jess Franco movie on my entire channel, and that probably need to rectify that. Let me see. I saw something else that I needed to. Oh, Varg says nobody sits down to watch a whole porn movie. Everybody stops the movie. Yeah, that's the thing. What I was gonna say like a long time ago when we were talking about porno movies was that I kind of feel like, yeah, dudes just kind of want the like 5-minute scene and then that's over. I was watching a documentary. Tom watched part of it with me.
Which one?
There's a great documentary on Shudder. I think it might be on Tubi also. If you check, I think it's called We Kill for Love. It's long. It's like 3.5 hours, but it's about erotic thrillers from the 90s, like specifically the direct-to-video ones, because holy crap, there were so many, like especially like in the wake of Fatal Attraction and stuff. And it's a great documentary. It's fascinating, and I kind of feel like chicks were more into those because they weren't explicitly porn, but they skirted the edge of porn, but they also like had a story. They were also like thrillers, like that you could watch even if you weren't like into the smut, but the smut was just like an added bonus. So I kind of feel like chicks would be more into those. I was into those. Those seem way hotter to me than porn because, like I said, a lot of porn to me is just very mechanical.
Mechanical, yeah. Women are into the story.
I kind of need some context.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not really.
Guys don't need any context.
That's what I mean. It's not really the same. It's just
Yeah.
I was like, it's just a bunch of body parts squishing together. That's not
Yeah.
hot. So it's just I don't know these people. So yeah, that's what I mean. It's
Yeah,
like,
for dudes don't care.
that's what I know. It's dudes don't care, but
totally
women
mechanical.
care. It's just kind of
Yeah.
like we need a story. Like who are these people?
Yeah.
What's their relationship? Like what's going on? Or it's not the same.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, so I feel like women are a lot more into that kind of. So that's why you see like generally women like written erotica.
Yeah.
More than porn.
Yeah.
Because it's like, one, you can self-insert. Because
You can also imagine.
Yeah. your own situation, which women like that more. You can personalize it more. You can kind of make it the way you want it. You can customize it, and that's a lot hotter to me. And like I said, there's context. There's a whole story. You get to know the characters and stuff. So like women like that better. So I'm just gonna say that's why and a lot of women like porn too. I like some kinds of porn. Like sometimes I'm in the mood for that. Okay. But generally, I just tend to find it's very...
Women like written.
Yeah, I tend to like written
Yeah.
erotica a lot better. I don't know. It's just better. It's a lot hotter to me. And like, and if I was going to watch a movie, I would rather watch like a quote-unquote erotic thriller, even if it wasn't explicit, but if there was like some kind of soft porny kind of shit in it,
Yeah.
that would be good.
Okay,
But it's like,
look.
but it's an actual story.
Well, look, and I think a lot of guys will agree with me. It's not only the way a woman looks and what's happening, okay, that sets a guy off. Also, what a woman's saying. A lot of the porn that guys like, if you look at the top-rated shit, is also what kind of shit that chick's saying during that. So I guess you could say it's kind of like our version of smut.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It's kind of like our version of written what she's saying. So I don't know, just.
Like I said, I like a whole...
A lot of women can just talk it out of a man.
Situation.
Like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but like, you know,
Yeah.
it's easy to do because I know
Yeah.
what kind of shit you like.
Yeah, what I like. But
Tom likes shit that's like
I like weird shit.
wrong.
Yeah, like bad. Well, I don't want. I ain't get it. I like subversive shit.
Not wrong. Well,
Naughty. I like naughty shit.
Yeah.
I like naughty shit. Yeah.
Like stuff you're not really supposed to be doing.
But you can, and everybody.
I mean, you can.
You can. Yeah.
But it's like stuff that you're not really supposed to be doing. That's not really.
It's actually pretty standard in the porn scene, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom likes that kind of shit. So it's like if I start talking about that, like
Yeah.
he gets real into that. Like talking about that kind of situation. Those kind of situations.
Yeah.
Because it's more than one.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. But I know.
Now my eyeballs are kind of going around, going, yeah.
yeah.
I'm thinking about it now.
Tomorrow
we're gonna go to the club.
Yeah, Momentum Orient.
Look, Varg's asking about Children of the Corn. He says, stop talking about porn. What about dude? Children of the Corn that's old school shit, man. We grew up with that. Of course, we've seen Children of the Corn.
Yeah, I've seen Children of the Corn
many times.
Probably a million times.
Yeah, the book too.
The short story is much better.
Yeah.
Actually, the short story is very short. It's only probably like 6-7 pages long.
Varg, fucking Children of the Corn is American folk horror. That really ain't shit. European folk horror style shit is even better. Like Wicker Man. Fucking Wicker Man.
Blood on Satan's Claw.
Yeah. That's good. Now, there's some new European folk horror that I like too. Fucking Midsummer.
That's not European though. Ari Aster's American, isn't he?
Yeah, that happened in Sweden though.
I know, but it was set. Yeah, it's set in Europe, but it's
set in Europe. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
The
Midsummer.
filmmaker.
That's a real
American.
good one.
Pretty
yeah.
sure.
And fucking you could probably say that that other one, the one that you like, Hereditary. And you know, I think that's taking place in the United States, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
That's still kind of, it has a very European feel to me.
God, I love Hereditary.
Yeah, Hereditary.
What a great fucking movie that is. That is easily one of the best horror movies of the last couple decades.
But Midsummer.
That fucked me up.
Yeah, I like Midsummer.
Midsummer's great too.
Yeah, and it's just about some students that go try to study this fucking weird ass fucking folk culture cult in fucking Sweden. I think it was. Wasn't it in Sweden?
I think it's
was
Sweden,
it in
yeah.
Was it in Sweden or Norway?
I don't remember.
And they're doing shit like the old ways, you know, fucking human sacrifice and everything. Fucking that shit was wild, man.
I like a good folk horror.
Scary.
Oh, if you like folk horror, speaking of documentaries, there's another very long documentary, I think, which is also maybe 3.5 hours, called... what the fuck is it called? Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched, or something like that. On Shudder. I think it's also on Tubi, but please don't quote me. And it's all about folk horror from all over the world, and it's fantastic. I've watched it like a couple times. And they do a deep dive. It's really, really good.
Varg is a very famous adult film star in Norway. Did you know that? That's he's telling Klaus, don't tell anybody. But you know, okay, I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, if you were famous, then everybody would already know.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. Oh, Joe said it like a long time ago. Joe Saturn said, just rewatched Dead Ringers with Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
Slow, creepy escape. I will say, this might be a bold statement. I think Dead Ringers might be my favorite David Cronenberg movie.
Yeah.
I fucking love Dead Ringers. I've seen it like a million times.
That's the one where he's making those people come back to life, right?
No, that's the one with Jeremy Irons, the twin gynecologist.
The twin gynecologist. That's right.
With the tools that for operating on mutated women.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I actually made a T-shirt. I should probably make a better version.
Dead Ringers.
I made a T-shirt that has like the tools on it, and then it says Mantle Brothers Fertility Clinic.
Yeah.
Specializing in mutant women.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, I should do a better design of that. Because I was like, man, that's one of the best ideas for a T-shirt I've ever had.
That's some weird shit, man.
But
Dead Ringers.
Yeah. So
I was thinking
if anybody wants a shirt like that, like let me know, because I've been thinking about doing another design along those lines. Because I could have, the one I did was okay. Like I bought the shirt myself and I like it, but it's like, man, I could probably do that better.
I was thinking about Dead and Buried.
Yeah, that's totally
different. Yeah,
that's totally different.
That's another good movie though. Dead and Buried.
Yeah, Dead and Buried is great too.
Really,
but like
good.
I said, Dead Bringers is David Cronenberg.
Yeah. Who did Dead and Buried? Do you remember?
That was, well, I know that one of the writers from Alien, was it Ronald Shusett, was one of the writers on it. but I can't remember who directed it. It's kind of like a zombie movie,
Kind of like
but
a zombie
not
movie.
really. Oh, and it has the guy that played the grandpa in Charlie and the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original of the 70s one.
Yeah, he's the bad guy in it.
He's like the bad guy.
You're like, that friendly old man's the bad guy? He goes, yeah.
Gonna say, though, from the Willy Wonka movie, that motherfucker laid in bed all that time and let that poor mother work doing everyone's laundry and bringing them food and everything like that, and then he could just get up.
Yeah, he's
when he got a golden ticket. Fuck that.
He was an indigent.
You could walk this whole time.
They were the welfare class. They're just sitting around trying to get free shit. The welfare class.
That poor lady was like doing all everybody's laundry and shit like that, and she's like, "Oh, we gotta split this one." Fuck. I was like, you could have got up the whole time and helped.
Look, folks.
Damn it.
I got Europeans
Grandpa
in
Joe.
here. I've got Europeans. I'm gonna chide you. I'm gonna chide y'all, Europeans. If you haven't seen Dead and Buried, that's another good one that you should see. That was a weird movie, man. It's kind of like a zombie movie.
Sorta.
Kinda. It's about a mortician. You don't know what's happening. Just people randomly being attacked and murdered by crazy, silent people.
Like in this weird, seaside, New England
out
kind
in
of
New England in a
town.
weird town. What the fuck is going on? Why are these hot chicks seducing dudes and then they get jumped by all these fucking people and then they get killed? You know what the hell happened? Turns out there's a funeral home mortician that has figured out how to resurrect dead bodies and control them.
Just cause.
That's how weird that movie is. This dude has figured out how to resurrect the dead. Just it's called Dead and Buried. Check it out. It's weird as fuck.
Okay, David Brown says Dead and Buried was directed by Gary Sherman. But one of the co-writers or the writer of the co-writer was the dude from Alien, right? Ronald Shusett or whatever his name was. He also directed Raw Meat. Oh shit, we reviewed that a long time
Dead and Buried is what, like 82, 83?
I think it's 83.
83? Yeah, it's just
around
a weird flick.
It's a really underrated 80s movie.
And kind of forgotten. Dude has figured out how to bring back the dead. And he hadn't told anybody. It's just weird, man. Weird shit.
Tom Baker's talking about Eyes Without a Face.
From
1960.
Yeah, the song is great, too.
Well, yeah, the song is not anything to do with the movie, though.
It inspired the song.
The thing about that movie is that it came out the same year as Psycho and Peeping Tom, which are kind of considered the two proto slashers. I feel like those two movies coming out in 1960, that was kind of like the delineating line between old horror and modern horror, you know?
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like Eyes Without a Face, I feel like is kind of also in that same category, because that movie showed, and I mean it's very tame by today's standards, but I kind of feel like if you'd seen this in 1960, you probably would have shit your pants. There's a scene in that where he cuts a girl's face off, and then pulls it off like that. It's in black and white, but I feel like nobody had really seen that in 1960.
Yeah.
And the fact, I mean, it's French, so it's just kind of like, you know what I mean? But I think the thing that creeped me out the most is that it's just so clinical, the way they shot it. Him just cutting this chick's face off, just...
Yeah, the movie was ahead of its time.
He pulls her whole ass face off.
Yeah.
I was like, man, if you'd seen that in 1960, even though it was black and white, it's like, yeah, we've seen way worse nowadays, but it's just like back then, you'd be like, holy crap, you'd passed out.
What was weird is that Billy Idol wanted to have a song about a serial killer, and that was what he came up with first, was Eyes Without a Face. Dude running around killing people. To bring back his daughter, to give a face to his daughter.
Yeah, because his daughter's face was fucked up in an accident.
Yeah, but then he mixed it over with relationships and stealing cars and going to Las Vegas and shit from them. It was just cool. It was just a cool song. And then washing her away with a fucking power hose. Done with her cheating on him because he's on tour. He's on tour, you know. But it just...
He was probably cheating on her, too. So
well, they were both cheating.
That's what I mean.
They both said they were cheating.
Oh, so
he says they're both cheating. Yeah, yeah.
So it's cool if he does it, but not if she does it?
No. He basically says they're both cheating.
Okay. Well, then why is he mad?
Because it's over.
You're not allowed to be mad if you're doing the same
it's
shit.
Over.
That's how it works.
He's in his early 20s. It's over.
You know what I mean? That's so hilarious. Dudes are like, yeah, I'm fucking every chick in town, but it's like, she cheated on me.
She cheated on me too. Well,
I'm like, aren't you doing the same thing, though?
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's
but that's different. It's not different.
No, he's recognizing that.
It's not
he's recognizing that.
It's the same exact thing. Just because you're a dude, doesn't make it a different.
He knows it's wrong. He knows it's crazy.
David Brown, hey, I did not know this, actually. Yeah. This shocks me. The novelization for Dead and Buried was written by Joyce Carol Oates, for fuck's sake.
Who's that?
She is a very famous novelist.
Really?
Wrote over 50 novels in her long career. Yeah,
I wonder if it's good.
I've read several of her things.
Read
yes, she's amazing.
You should read it. See what it says.
Oh, you know what? I should do a book versus movie.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Although
book versus movie.
Well, it doesn't really count because it was a novelization of a movie. Because usually if I do book versus movie, because I do a lot of those for my other channel. But usually it's like a movie that's based on...
A lot of times there's a difference, though.
What I was going to say was that when I do that, it's usually like a movie that's based on a novel. So I point out like all... But a novelization of the movie, that's kind of different. But still, I don't know.
A lot of times novelizations of the movie is quite different. Like I heard that the novelization of Conan the Barbarian is actually quite different from the movie.
Yeah, I mean, they do change shit, but, I mean, I was going to say...
There's more detail.
When we were talking about Pretty in Pink earlier, someone wrote a novelization of that movie.
Yeah.
And she ends up with Ducky at the end.
Yeah.
So, well, and another thing, too, is that sometimes, if they do a novelization of a movie, sometimes the script will be sent to the writer...
Yeah.
And sometimes that script gets changed subsequently, like while the movie is being made, and they don't really have time to change it, or they don't really care to change it when the novelization, because they're just like, whatever. So it's just sometimes there is a difference. So I don't know. It might be worth doing. I will read it and see what happens.
A lot of times in the novelizations, kind of fucking have, in some ways, maybe more influence than the movie. Like here's an example. In the movie Conan the Barbarian, Conan goes into a fucking tomb of an ancient Atlantean general and finds him up on a fucking throne and takes his sword from him. And when he takes a sword from the dead general, the fucking the skeleton kind of collapses, like he's handing over the sword to Conan to take up his lead. You know what I mean? Like he's bequeathing it to Conan. But in a novelization, that's not what happens. Conan takes a sword, tries to take the sword, and the fucking general stands up, and he now has to fight the Atlantean general to get the sword. And then it's handed over.
Which is kind of better.
That is what's happened in Amleth. Remember, to get his sword, the fucking dead troll had it. Remember, he had to fight that fucking Nordic dead guy in order to get the sword. Remember in Amleth? Or in fucking the Northmen?
Yeah.
In Amleth. So, in the Northmen, were they homaging the novelization of Conan? Because it's obvious in the Northmen they're honoring, they're homaging the movie, the Conan movie, when he gets the sword. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So they're homaging both. That was quite a fucking detail I thought was very cool. So what I'm saying is, like, sometimes it may be worth it to look at the novelizations.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Because they might influence other movies.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I tend to, when I do book versus movie, I'm usually focusing on movies that were based on novels.
Right.
But it might be kind of interesting to look at something from like the other way around, where something was a movie and then a novel was based on it. Now,
my hypothesis is that the Northman movie actually was homaging the novelization of Conan the Barbarian and the movie. That was quite cool, although I haven't read it. But it seems to be.
Count Orlok said Faceless, the movie he talked about before, I think was inspired by Eyes Without a Face, plastic surgery horror. Yeah, I reviewed a movie that came out in late 70s, early 80s, which I think is called Scalpel. That's kind of it had some other names too, but that was kind of the main title. And I think that might have been kind of slightly inspired by Eyes Without a Face also. It's kind of like more a Southern Gothic, but I think that's where they got the idea. David Brown says the most extreme novelization, being different from the movie, was the novelization of The Boogans from 1981. I can't believe they did a novelization of that. That's crazy. The Boogans. Yeah. Completely different than the movie. I sort of remember that movie. It was, I remember it being not that great. I didn't even know they did a book version of that. That's like pretty funny. I guess that was like pretty common, but that might be an interesting one too. Ken Orlock said, I heard that the novels for I Know What You Did Last Summer and Valentine were not horror, but mystery thrillers. I don't know about Valentine, but I Know What You Did Last Summer for sure started out, I believe it was YA. I believe it did start out as a YA mystery thriller. And then it was turned into like kind of a slasher movie. I haven't read it, but that's from everything I've heard about it. It wasn't really a slasher in the book. It was just kind of more, like I said, like a mystery kind of story. Klaus said we had a lynx here yesterday. It killed the neighbor's cat. Oh my god. That's horrible. That's why I don't let my cats go outside. Because we have a lot of like fucking wildlife around here. But yeah, now that I know that Joyce Carol Oates did write a Dead and Buried, that might be really interesting to do. Like I said, if you don't know, like I have another channel. I only post on there probably like once a month or something, but I actually have a blog that I write a lot of stuff on. There's a lot of movie reviews, book reviews, shit like that over there. And I do a lot of book versus movie comparisons. I think the last one I did was Hell House. Richard Matheson's Hell House compared to Legend of Hell House, the movie that came out in the 1973, which is long. I think the video was like an hour and a half or something like that. And I also did We've Always Lived in the Castle, Shirley Jackson. I did The Ritual, the Adam Neville novel, compared to the 2017 movie. And I did The House Next Door by Anne Rivers Siddons, which was made into a Lifetime movie, which was actually better than I was expecting. I thought it was going to suck, but it was actually pretty good. I did Harvest Home. I'm trying to think. I did Burnt Offerings. I'm trying to think of other ones that I did. I don't know. They take a long time to do, obviously, because you have to read the novel and then watch the movie, and then you have to compare them like scene by scene. So it takes a while to do, but I like doing those actually. So I don't know. So I might do Dead and Buried. That would actually be a good one to do, actually.
Varg doesn't know what a lynx is. A lynx is a cat. That's a wild cat. Not very big.
They're bigger than a house cat.
Bigger than a house cat. Not as big as a lion. You can have them as a pet. People have them as pets. They're just crazy.
David Brown says David Seltzer, screenwriter of The Omen, did a novelization of Prophecy from 1979. Oh, I remember that one. Which he was the screenwriter of the movie. It was not even listed as a novelization. That may be good to do too. Prophecy. What a weird fucking movie.
Been a long time. That was with the mutant bear.
The mutant bear, yeah. Well, there was mutant salmon. There was mutant a lot of stuff.
There was a two-legged
Wasn't it
fish.
mercury poisoning?
Yeah, it came from mercury poisoning.
I think what it was.
I think
it was an eco horror from the 70s
during the time.
But I think the mutant bear was like the big bad.
Yeah, and it had a scene that stuck with me as a kid. Looking at Fangoria magazine, I'd never actually seen the movie, but I saw the trailer. And I saw some shit from Fangoria magazine. My aunt would take me and my aunt fucking Lois would take me and Wesley to fucking Sequoia Redwood Forest in California. It was wild, man. And we'd be camping out in fucking campsites and shit. There's a scene where the little boy's in a fucking... He's in a sleeping bag trying to hop away from this mutant bear. The bear fucking smacks his ass like that. And he goes flying and he hits a fucking tree and explodes into a bunch of feathers that come out of the down.
That's not Prophecy.
That's Prophecy.
That's either Grizzly or Day of the Animals.
No, it's Prophecy. And he fucking smacks it. Yeah. And that kid goes fucking boom like that, and that fucking stuck with me. I was like, I'd be hiding in that sleeping bag, afraid that the bears were gonna fucking slap me.
I thought that was Grizzly.
Prophecy. It's from Prophecy. 100%.
Because there was another movie that was called Grizzly.
I'll show it to you.
Okay.
I'll
Okay,
show
yeah,
it.
you said it is Prophecy. But
It's
there was
Prophecy.
like I said, there was another movie called Grizzly that had a scene kind of like that.
Nah.
That kind of reminded me of it. Okay.
That kid is trying to hop away in that sleeping bag, run from that bear, and that
was the
bear
silliest.
slaps
Somebody
his
made
head.
it. Somebody made a GIF of it, and it's like the funniest thing ever.
That's from Prophecy.
That's the funniest thing ever.
Well, that bear was a big old mutant bear. It was all retarded looking. It looked like some out of Alien. Giant bear running around on two
he
legs.
looked like he was like inside out or something.
He didn't have any
Kinda.
hair. He had big bulbous fucking cysts and shit on him.
Like I said, wasn't it? It's been a while since I've seen Prophecy, but like,
Nah.
wasn't it like mercury poisoning? It was mercury poisoning.
Something like
right?
mercury poisoning.
Because I thought like the mutated bear was like the main thing, but like didn't they? Wasn't there like big?
at the beginning,
Wasn't there like salmon that were like super huge
Yeah.
and like big fucking tadpoles?
It was during
or
the
some shit like that?
time when mercury in the water was fucking with people.
Yeah.
In the 70s. They were worried about it. It was in the media. But I think the movie actually amped it up. It might have something to do with radioactivity also. And some kind of company that was doing something. I don't remember exactly what it was. It wasn't just mercury. It was something else. It was mercury and something else. Like radioactive
said,
mercury.
yeah, methyl mercury poisoning from the lumber company. Yeah,
That's right.
I'm pretty sure
They showed the lumber company making paper.
That's right. I'm pretty sure we've
Yeah.
reviewed it. It's just
Yeah.
it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you weren't around in the 70s, like eco horror was all the fucking rage.
That's what it was.
All these animals that were getting like super big or super pissed off at us or whatever.
That's what
it was. always because we were polluting their environment.
Yeah.
Which we were. I mean, to be fair. So it's like, so that's probably why.
It was It was just like another version of radiation.
Well, it was kind of like the 70s version of like the 50s Big Bug movies.
Big bugs, radiation, made the
because
bugs
the Big Bug movies
Yeah.
from the 50s, which weren't all bugs, but they were mostly bugs.
Big lizards, big spiders.
It was always radiation. They were like
Radiation.
doing nuclear tests somewhere, and then like tarantulas got
ants,
as
giant
big
ants.
as fucking
Yeah.
airplanes or
Yeah.
whatever the fucking.
Radiation doesn't make shit big. Radiation tends to make things small and deformed. That's what radiation does.
Joe brought up Food of the Gods. Yeah,
Food
yeah.
of the gods, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where they were shooting all the damn rats with fucking pellet guns for the movie.
I did a review. This is another.
You could see the fucking pellets going.
This is
in the
another
rats.
video that I did on my other channel, the
Yeah.
Scare Salon. I did Food of the Gods and Empire of the Ants.
Yeah.
Like in one thing, and I forgot.
Yeah.
In Food, because I saw that movie a bunch of times when I was a kid. I forgot how many rats were killed.
Yeah.
In that movie. It was not cool.
Yeah.
Not cool at all.
Shooting
And
rats
honestly,
in the head with a fucking pellet gun. In slow motion.
like what the fuck, man? They're just rats. I'm like, fuck off. Oh my god. Like
Well,
I
the
was
mentality of the time is rats were kind of like
I
cockroaches.
know, but still,
That's
it's
what
like
they were thinking.
I was mad
Yeah.
rewatching Kingdom of the Spiders.
When they're stepping on tarantulas.
where they're killing like William Shatner is like squishing the. I'm like, stop it! What if those are real ass beings? Would you stop
the
it?
tarantulas. Yeah, and what's funny is that
Oh my god!
they had the guy who rented the tarantulas out was assured that none of the tarantulas would be killed.
That's what I
They
mean, they're not
killed. Then they fucking they recouped him.
the only thing, like I said, I
Yeah.
feel like probably.
yeah,
Well, not probably. Absolutely. Let's talk like Creepshow from 1982.
yeah,
The last segment with Upton Pratt and his like sterile apartment, which becomes overrun with cockroaches. Now, some of those cockroaches were killed in the making of this movie. I mean, it's very obvious. I don't care about that.
Fuck cockroaches.
Fuck cockroaches. I hate cockroaches.
Yeah.
But honestly, still, I'm just kind of like, that's kind of fucked up. But I mean, when I watched Kingdom of the Spiders,
yeah.
because I hadn't seen that since I was a kid, and then I watched it again on Riff Tracks, and I was like, holy crap, they actually legit killed some of those tarantulas. Why?
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't do that nowadays.
I hate spiders.
They would probably just do it CGI nowadays just
Yeah.
to prevent. But, like, even if they did have real spiders in there, they wouldn't kill them.
I hate spiders. I'll fucking stomp on spiders all day. I don't think I'd step on a tarantula. It's too big. And I'm like, fucking...
That's almost like a mammal, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to fucking kill something that big that's not hurting me. But little pests, like little fucking... No, little spiders, fuck them. But tarantulas are kind of rare. And they're substantial. You know what I mean? like killing a mouse or something.
That's what I mean. That's like stepping on. That's fucking. Even if you were like, because I actually quite like spiders, but it's just kind of like.
No,
that's like stepping on a mouse, like you said. It's like, ooh, and I would never do that. Jesus Christ. So it's like, so when I rewatched Kingdom of the Spiders, I was upset. And when I redid, and I think I even talked about it in the video that I made about Food of the Gods and Empire of the Ants, was that I didn't remember how much cruelty to animals there was in fucking Food of the Gods. Because in the 70s, they absolutely did not give a crap. Some of those rats in that were very clearly drowned.
Yeah.
Or very clearly shot or electrocuted.
And I could tell it was pellet guns.
Pretty sure
I can see that's like a pellet gun.
That was not fake.
Yeah.
So that was a little upsetting for me, like when I watched that again.
And I don't really look. I'll kill deer, but I'm gonna eat them. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna kill an animal for nothing. I'm gonna eat, you know, and deer are food animals. And I don't believe in killing like shit that you don't eat.
You're not gonna kill it for a movie.
Yeah, especially for a movie. You know what I mean? Fucking and
rats are highly intelligent animals.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't really kill anything for a fucking movie.
My dad was a great hunter. He killed many, many deer. And I asked him. I said, "Don't you go out and hunt raccoon?" And he's thinking, "No, I don't hunt that." And fucking. And I said, "What about fucking mountain lion?" You know, he said, "Nah, I wouldn't kill no cat." And it took me a while till I grew up a little bit.
Why would you kill a cat?
I started matured a little bit. We didn't know much about raccoons. I thought a raccoon was something kind of fierce. You know, a fierce little, like a badger. No, raccoons are cute. They're very cool. And they really that'd be like killing a cat or something. Even a wild one can be tamed. They'll make a good pet. My dad knew this, but he didn't really like tell me. But then now that raccoons are very common, and you have social media, you can see how a wild raccoons act. And I was like, oh, no wonder my dad wasn't killing those. I said, and he goes, you can't eat them. There's not many meat there, and they're not causing any trouble. That's the kind of shit my dad was saying.
They're adorable.
Yeah, and you know,
and they're really smart.
Yeah, right.
David Brown says you definitely.
My dad only killed deer. That's it, and a wild pig. Because you can eat them.
Because you eat them, yeah.
You can eat them, yeah.
David Brown said you definitely would not want to watch Cannibal Holocaust. Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, we've seen it. Fuck that. I turned that shit off.
As
soon as that dude took that sharp stick and shoved it through that Quadamundi, I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Turning that shit off. I don't like any unnecessary brutality.
That's the thing. It's like, look, I understand that is a pivotal horror film. It was technically the first found footage, I guess, like that people would recognize as found footage. And I do like Italian horror, and I'm not a big censorship person. However, I do understand why the UK versions of that, I'm not sure about nowadays. Like, you can still see that movie, but they've cut all of the animal cruelty out, which honestly, I'm okay with that.
Killing animals for a movie.
I'm okay with that.
That ain't cool, man. No, that's not cool. To kill an animal for a movie. You only kill an animal for food, and you do the shit respectfully.
Bro, I don't
cut a fucking... You don't stick a blunt stick through a fucking...
Or cut a tortoise's head off.
Cut a tortoise apart while it's alive.
Jesus Christ.
Now, me and Grandpa's fucking in biology class, we did vivisection on turtles, but that turtle was brain dead. The professor had already stuck a needle through its fucking brain.
The only animal that we dissected that was still alive in biology was a crab, and it was frozen.
Yeah.
And I still didn't feel good about
But it was alive?
It was alive.
Frozen and alive? How could it be alive and frozen?
Well, I mean, they were like stunned because they were cold. You know what I mean?
No, we did a turtle.
We did turtles too, but they were
turtle,
dead.
Its frontal lobes were gone.
They were dead.
It was unconscious. We did that.
We did turtles. We did sharks. We did pigs. Crabs, worms, frogs.
Right. But they were cut.
They were all dead except for the
cutting a big.
Except
turtle.
for the crabs.
They were cutting a big.
Yeah, it was a tortoise. It was big.
Turtle apart while it was alive.
Yeah,
and its fucking legs were fucking.
Look, I have a hard time watching a movie in which a kitty or a puppy dies fake. Yeah. Okay, so I'm not like I don't want to watch real shit. No thanks.
Yeah.
I don't care if they kill people.
Yeah,
people kind of suck.
I'm not as forgiving with people because people knew better.
That's what I'm saying. It's like so.
If it's a person I don't like, that person that's an enemy person. They're bad. Then it's a different deal. And here's another thing. Even if a person's being victimized, they're rational enough to know what's happening to them. A fucking animal
doesn't
is like
know.
a child.
Yeah, that's
they
like
have
killing
no
a
idea
child.
what's going on. So I don't.
That's kind of how I think of it.
Yeah.
It's like killing a baby.
Even though here's the sad thing about nature. Most wild animals die at the hand of other animals and they're eaten alive.
Yeah.
That's how brutal nature is. But as a human, you don't have to contribute to that.
Yeah, you don't.
By butchering some animal while it's
Yeah,
alive.
because you can choose not to.
You can choose not to.
Because why would
we
you
got
do
living
that?
animals and here, these little cats and shit. They're like our children. We take care of them. You know what I mean? We shield them from that. You know, and that's what they've traded to us as domestic animals. They will be our friends if we protect them for their lives, and we take care of them, and they'll take care of us and have.
And I would
so they
legit-
don't have to be in that.
I mean, like I said, we
don't have to be eaten
make
alive.
jokes about
Yeah.
the cats like being like our children. They are
Yeah.
literally like our children.
Yeah,
like if
yeah.
somebody tried to fuck with them, I will kill you.
Yeah, I'll be at you with an assault rifle, bub.
I will kill you if you try to touch
They're
my
our
cats.
friends. Yeah, we take care of them. You know,
I will
and
kill
they're-
you and then eat you.
Yeah, and
if
those,
you try to fuck with
and
my
those
cats.
animals are so friendly to us. They love us. They're like, yeah, and they're like little children. That's all. You know what I mean? They're like little children. We're taking care of them, and they're our companions. They're our friends. That's it. It's not really complicated, because that's how they see it.
Yeah.
They're like, daddy, daddy, daddy. Give me this. Give me that. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
Like I said, they're like little babies.
Yeah.
You know, they're like human kids.
Yeah. So we're just taking care of them.
You know.
And they don't have to be in nature where they're eaten alive at the end of their lives. They can actually live to be old and they get sick and die, just like a human. That's what they're trading. They're not free because they can't be out in the wild. If they're really free in the wild, then they die.
Yeah, they
That's the way-
don't
that's-
live as long.
Yeah, they don't live as long and they get eaten alive. That's what happens to
Yeah.
them. So it's a good trade for them. They like it and we like it.
I mean, they seem
They
to
live
like,
longer
they seem
here
to
and they
like
have
being
fun.
here. Except when they break the cat tree,
They broke the cat tree. Yeah.
which we now have to get another one
Yeah.
of.
And I'm going to tell you all something. Because I'm Nostradamus, the man who saw tomorrow. The next great pet that mankind will have, outside of cats and dogs, is the raccoon. The raccoon will be the next great domestic pet because they're ready to be domesticated. They're actually showing signs of domestication. Their muzzles are getting shorter. They're starting to beg and be cute.
Because they live in human dominated areas.
The next thing that
and
will
they're
happen,
used to begging food off of
Yeah.
people, which is probably how dogs got domesticated. And,
yeah, same
You know, just coming around humans and being like, "Hey, feed me! Look how cute I am."
I'll be cute if you give me food, and
Yeah,
we'll chill out. Yeah. And that's how that.
That's how they do.
I'll do something nice for you. You do something nice for me. The next one will be raccoons,
Reciprocation,
and
baby.
raccoons. I knew some of my dad's friends in Mississippi had raccoons for that raccoon's entire life, and they made a good pet. The next pet is a raccoon.
Varg's like, no. Have a raccoon for a pet, not a good idea.
They have raccoon pets here. They have they get into shit.
They're very mischievous.
They're mischievous, but no,
100%.
in the South
Cats
they can't.
are too, though.
Yeah, so are cats. But in the
Cats
South,
tear your shit up.
in the South, you can own a raccoon and you can let it out, and it can come back into the house. See, they'll come back. You can have a raccoon.
Yeah.
A lot of people have
Varg
them.
says they stink. Do they? I don't know. Like,
Cats kind of do. They,
well,
you
our
can-
cats
you can-
don't stink, but
you
know
can
what I mean.
you can
Dogs
you can,
stink too.
Yeah, you can litter box train
A lot of humans also stink.
And like I said, in the South, the fucking raccoon can come and go. You can have a doggy door. They can come and go as they want.
Yeah, American military said I have a friend with a pet raccoon. They're cute and playful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem like really. Honestly, like I said,
I had a fucking ferret, and ferrets were banned. You weren't supposed to have a ferret. They're a great pet.
yeah, I've known a couple people that had ferrets, and they just
Yeah,
thought they
they're
were the
great.
best thing ever.
Yeah.
They
Funny.
kind of stink too.
They're
but
hilarious.
You kind of get used to it. After
They're
a while.
hilarious.
They just smell kind of musky.
They're fucking clowns. It just
Yeah.
got out of the house.
They're
and-
super smart.
It just got out of the house one day, and the dog next door killed it by accident. Well,
That's so sad.
the dog bit it, thinking it was something else, and it died.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Tom,
Now you can get them. They're legal.
American Military also said people forget that Michael Myers killed a dog in Halloween 1978. Yeah, he did. I forgot about that. Tom Baker said, I had 4 cats. I miss them.
Yeah.
Cats are the best, really. I mean, I'm not averse to dogs either. But I'm more a cat person.
Mm-hmm.
And man, cats are just fucking awesome. They're kind of assholes. Well, our cats aren't assholes. Yeah. But they do mischievous things.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
And I was a horse trainer, so I had entire stables filled with horses. A raccoon is nothing. You can have a raccoon in the house. I'd rather have the raccoon come and go, but I'm not sure if they could actually do it in this particular neighborhood. We're too much in a suburban area. And if you were attached to that raccoon, chances are it'd probably get killed by an eagle, because we have eagles here.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, like I said, I don't even...
We're kind of worried about cats.
I don't even like the cats to go outside.
Yeah.
Beijing will still go outside.
We have eagles and fucking hawks here.
Beijing will still go outside, but she doesn't... I mean, she's old now, so she basically just goes on the back porch and sleeps.
She doesn't go anywhere. Yeah.
The other 2 cats do not go outside.
Yeah.
They'll sit in the window and look outside, but they don't seem like really interested in going outside.
Yeah.
They like to be in here, because this is where all their food is, and this is where all the attention is, so they don't seem too bothered.
Yeah.
Yeah, Count Orlok says, our dog Rio is my highest priority. I'd do anything to protect her. Absolutely adore that dog. Yeah, same. It's like I said, the cats are literally like our children. Like I said, if anybody even thought about hurting my cats, I would legit kill you. Like, I really would.
It's almost time for us to shut this down, Jim.
Yep, it's past 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Varg says, try to wash a raccoon.
You don't have to wash a raccoon. You don't have to wash a cat. You don't really have to wash a dog.
No, you definitely have to wash dogs.
Depends on how big that dog is.
They're pretty smelly.
Depends on how big that dog is.
Cats are not...
Depends if it's an outside dog. Some dogs are just outside dogs.
Our cats,
yeah.
We've never had to, like... We gave them baths, like, when we first got them.
When they're babies, yeah.
When they're babies. But it's like, other than that, and they smell good. Actually, Pookie smells like baby powder.
She smells like baby powder, yeah.
Like, pretty much. And, like, Bam doesn't really smell like anything.
Yeah.
They don't stink.
You don't have to wash them.
So,
they have their own
they wash
ways.
themselves.
Yeah.
Like, they're very clean.
Yeah.
They've never been stinky.
Yeah.
So, I don't really worry about washing them. Like, they don't get into anything.
See, Varg's worried about raccoons. We live in Florida. People have possum as pets here.
Yeah.
If you ever seen a possum, they're pretty fucking nasty. But you wash a possum early and you raise a possum in a domestic environment, they make a good pet. The problem with possum is that they don't live very long. A possum, I think, only lives 4 or 5 years. Yeah, so, and they are very social and they're very affectionate. And it looks like a giant rat, you know. And evidently, people that own possum become attached to them, and they get depressed because they die so quickly.
Yeah,
they don't live long.
That would suck, man.
Yeah.
David Brown says there is a movie called Good Boy from 2025, which is a haunted cabin scene from the dog POV. Yes, we reviewed that.
Yeah, Good Boy is a great movie.
And I talked about it on because it was in my top 5 horror movies of last year, so I talked about it in my top 20 horror movies of 2025. I like that movie. It was great. I liked that a lot. Yeah. And like I said, I joked about it's like, man, that dog should get an Oscar. But it wasn't really a joke. He did get, he wasn't an Oscar, obviously, but he did get... got
an award?
Was it a Saturn Award or something? I don't remember what it was. But he did get, like, Best Actor. I was like, good. Well deserved.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
That dog was fucking amazing in that movie. Like, he was very expressive. I was into it. You know what I mean? All right, so it's getting to be past 11 o'clock. Yeah. We're getting kind of sleepy. Because Bambi woke me up at 6:15 this morning to feed her, as she usually does. So I'm kind of tired. All right, so we're going to wrap it up for this evening. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us this Friday night. Thanks for your super chats. Hopefully you guys have a good weekend. We're going to go out to Memento Mori tomorrow night, so maybe something exciting will happen that we can talk about on Monday. And on Monday, again, we're going to do a movie review. Don't know what movie it's going to be. We'll figure something out. But yeah, so have a good rest of your evening, you guys. Have a good weekend. And we'll see you guys again on Monday night.